today, and today is the second day of the Business MuMu conference. It's a pleasure to have you here. I want to salute your courage. I want to say thank you so much for being here with us all through. Yesterday was quite interesting. It was really an awesome time spending with everybody across Africa on how to empower the African business gene. Thank you so much for coming around yesterday. It's another day today. Today is the second day and the last lap. We're on the second lap, or on the second day now, which is the second lap of the whole conference, which is the first lap of the second day. It's good to have you. We already have our first speaker today waiting in the studio. He's going to be joining us any moment from now. It's a great pleasure to have us. This is Empowering the African Business Gene, the Business MuMu conference. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's going to be very, very amazing today. I want you to just take your, back seat and help us do something now. Share from this place. You're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on LinkedIn. Share from this place to your audience. Share to your network. Let them know about this good thing. None of them will be happy with you if you allow them to miss this amazing and awesome session that we're going to be having today. Please share with them and let's do this together. It's time for Africa and we are rising. So nothing is stopping us, not even you, not me. We are rising together. Thank you so much. So it's going to be a pleasure. Without so much ado, I'm going to be, bringing up stage this speaker for today. The first speaker for today is going to be a great pleasure to have you here today, sir. Thank you so much.
Kindly. Thank you kindly. It is great to be here.
Thank you. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Let me send warm greetings to all audiences across the Business MuMu ecosystems and those that are guests for the day. My brother and I, we send our love, and let me also send salutation and give honor where it is due. I want to honor my brother Olatunji for the vision that he had that is bigger than him. And that is the vision that Africa needs now, to unite us as African leaders and emerging leaders so we can exchange nodes and exchange insight. And before I go into what do you call it, the day's business, yesterday, the visionary himself, the convener of Business MuMu Conference, painted a powerful picture. He said that business is like a vehicle that carries goodness from one location to the other location. So I'm hoping that today, as I send greetings from South Africa, from Sandton, the richest square mile on the continent, that I won't just be giving you words, but I'll be carrying goodness. I'll be carrying wisdom. I'll be carrying insights from me to you. Tune in. Let's talk. And towards the end of my talk, let's engage. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you. I have my co-moderator already here. Vivian, I'm bringing you live now. You are looking set for the day. Thank you so much.
Hi, Olatunji. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, distinguished speakers.
So good to have you here, Vivian. It's good to meet the two pilots, to meet the two pilots as they come and share and they take Africa forward. Thank you, Madam Vivian.
It's an honor to have you, sir.
It's such a privilege. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So we are good to go without much ado. I think we are on it already, and let's move, let's fly, let's do the thing, and let's pick Africa up, let Africa rise. Let's do that great thing.
Thank you. So, sir, if I may share my screen, and please confirm if you're able to see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to have a look here. There we go.
Yeah.
Is everybody able to see my screen?
It's live now.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
With your permission, I will go ahead. Thank you. I will await your cue.
Let's go.
Thank you kindly. So, my fellow Africans and our global guest, I am very privileged once again today to be convening this discussion on bringing insights from my desk. And the main question that I will take you through in this we have before we see some of the questions aside is Africa emerging as the land of unicorns? A very critical question, dear audience and dear guests, from local and from offshore. Is Africa emerging as the land of unicorns? And the sub question underneath that, or a number of sub questions, what does that have to do with you? Some of you may be wondering, what is a unicorn? I will touch on that in a moment. And who should you be in order to become a header in that land of unicorn? A header, someone who looks after those unicorns, someone who identifies on those unicorns, and someone who can own some of those great unicorns. Without much further ado, let's have a look at a bit of background on the speaker. Yours truly, before, I'm from the village. So sometimes when you come into a village ecosystem, the men of the village under the tree, they say, okay, before you talk, can you introduce yourself? Can you maybe give us a bit background on why we should listen to you? So do pardon me. This is my village muscle memory. A bit of background on this village boy who has now become a Pan-African leader and the Baron himself. My background was in strategy, in management consulting. My last corporate role was, of course, in Deloitte, where we did some exciting things. In a moment, I'll be telling you what a unicorn is, but you cannot appreciate a unicorn unless you appreciate scale, unless you appreciate size. Then you won't appreciate a unicorn. Back in Deloitte, one of the flagship projects that I worked on was able to move from a zero balance sheet to 300 million US dollars within 36 months. So you can already see the scale of even from a young age, even from an emerging leader days, I was already in great company, and I was already commandeering or heading some really, really interesting projects, which today we'll call them a unicorn material. And of course, when I left Deloitte in my last corporate role, I went into management consulting. And one of the projects, I'm not going to bore you to tell you what I did for 10 years. Let me just sum it up. That one of those projects, we're able to move it from a very, very chaotic state in the middle of nowhere with 500 US dollars to 2 million US dollars within 3 years. That's it. And of course, that is what became a segue for me into co-founding a tech startup with my co-founder and wife, Preeti Kubiani. And we've been doing some amazing things on the continent across supply chains, more on that on another day. But this tech startup called Coronet Blockchain managed to raise not one, but two funding tranches or funding checks in the middle of COVID. So that just tells you a bit about me, so that when I speak about unicorn, you can know in this African village that we are now engaging. Africa is a village. They can put all the borders that they want, but we are one village. So in this giant village called Africa, when I speak, maybe, just maybe, you may want to listen to what I have to say. With that being said, a bit of background. So what is a unicorn? This is a term that was coined by Aileen Lee, who is actually one of the most respected VCs in the world today. She decided when she looked at the 39 startups that was on her desk, she looked at them wondering who to fund, wondering what is this phenomenon that companies that did not exist a year ago, 2 years ago, but today they're doing so much. She decided, no. I think I have to create a benchmark. I have to benchmark this definition. And she decided that any company that has clocked more than $1 billion US dollars in valuation or in worth, then that is a unicorn. So, dear audience, do you have $1 billion US dollar idea on your desk? Or are you keeping it on your phone? I don't know. Maybe it's high time that it comes out of your phone, it comes out of your head, it comes out of your laptop, and it emerges into the world, because Africa will become better when we stop trapping ideas. When we stop trapping ideas in our head, or we hold on to them. We must release these ideas. We must work tirelessly to make sure that these ideas make Africa better and they shape the Africa we want. With that being said, let's have a look at some of the popular unicorns that you may know. Some of them, there may even be apps on your phone, by the way. So Uber is one of them, your Airbnb, your Alibaba, your Stripe, which is what do you call it, a fintech giant, of course, which actually is one of the big players in the pay stack game, which is also a unicorn. One of my neighbors here who have moved their office to London, that is Luno, and of course Canva on the Australian side, and of course another familiar name, Flutterwave, and Zoom. You know, I need to also mention a disclaimer. Yes, most of these have already gone beyond unicorn stage. Unicorn is $1 billion valuation, but then you've got Decacorn, which is a 10 billion plus valuation. And then you've got something beyond that. I think if my memory serves me right, I'm going to remember whether that is a Terracorn, but we've got $100 billion valuation. Most of these are beyond unicorn. So ask yourself, dear audience, what are we doing when unicorns are running all over the place? Where is your unicorn? When is your unicorn going to enter the fold and get to run with the startup breads? You know, Zoom, I think a month ago, Zoom was valuated at 136 billion US dollars. And it was just started by one man who spoke to another man and another man and another woman. And today we've got Zoom. So would you rather be using the apps and the businesses that other people are creating to make the world better? Or is it time that you also throw your name in the hat and come out here? That's why the Business MuMu conference is here, in order to create this symposium of insight so that we can talk under this virtual tree together in this Pan-African village and show each other and convict each other and compel each other to be more and to do more. So hopefully at the second Business MuMu conference, maybe your unicorn will be here. Maybe your Decacorn will be here. I'm just putting it out there. So with that being said, there are three common things that really can help you evaluate whether you have a unicorn idea on your phone, or you've got a unicorn idea in your head or in your heart. Is it disruptive? Is it using technology for greater impact? Is it obsessing about consumers? Those are the three things. You can never, ever, ever, dear audience, trust me on that one. You can never create a unicorn. If you and me can never create a unicorn if we only obsess about ourselves. If we only think about me, my needs, my dog, my phone, my data, forget about it. You're not gonna create a unicorn. To create a unicorn, you have to, the good book calls it loving your neighbor. You gotta love your neighbor in such a way that you want to see your neighbor do better. You want to see your neighbor become more. And how do we make that practical? From the good book, you go beyond loving your neighbor. You create a customer service metrics. You go like, wait a minute, why is it taking 5 hours to get vegetables from the local supermarket to your door? I think I can come up with an app, and that app can move you from 5 hours to 10 minutes. I mean, why are you doing things this way? Why are we meeting in person all the time? What if I was to create a unicorn that is even bigger and better than Zoom? You see, that is better than these streaming functions that we are on. I mean, really. So you have to wonder or obsess more about the needs of others more than yourself. I know it's not easy, my fellow African, because you're thinking, hey, this month end, I need to have that money. I need to pay rent. I need to pay my bond. I need to pay my car. Yeah, but the minute you go beyond that self-obsession, and also that fear. You can never create a unicorn if you are fearful. Oh, I'm fearful if I'm going to have enough money for this month. Oh, who cares? Who cares? You need to go beyond. Well, I do care. I do care, dear audience, that you do well. But once you have done well and you want a unicorn, you want to go beyond month end. I care that you take care of month end, but I also care as a brother and as a fellow leader that you go beyond month end, you go beyond self needs, and you self actualize into becoming a unicorn leader, because we've got less than 10 unicorns on the continent. We need more. We need more than that in order to lift ourselves into the Africa we want. Technology. I mean, it's an interesting thing that 87% of all the unicorns, their products are actually wrapped around technology. So if your idea doesn't speak to technology, maybe you need to look at it again. I'm going to unpack later how China moved from an agriculturally based economy and they went to more engineering and more skills, more technology. Today, truth be told, they beat the US on multiple fronts when it comes to artificial intelligence, when it comes to some of this emerging technology. They beat the US hands down. And well, we love the US, but maybe the US needs to go back to the drawing board and ask themselves what is important to them. What is the America that they want? For now, we're going to ask ourselves, what's the Africa that we want? Talking about the Africa we want, is your idea disruptive? Is your current business or future business, is it disruptive? What do I mean? Is it doing something to shake up how things were done? Or is it going to repeat more of the same thing? If it repeats more of the same thing and changes one or two things, I'm sorry to break it to you, it's not going to be a unicorn. So if you want a unicorn, what are we learning? You must make sure your idea is disruptive. If it was not disruptive yesterday, after this conference, with your notes, make sure that you put disruption into your idea. Real disruption. Make sure you leverage technology and make sure you obsess about the needs of your customers more than you obsess about anything else. Thank you kindly. With that being said, let's look at, when I use the word header, I need you to know where I'm coming from, dear audience. I was born in one of the villages here in South Africa. So I was among the last village dwellers that actually lived off the ground, that were able to sow a seed and cultivate and see the whole process and eat food from the ground. We ate meal, we ate pap, and I was able to look after cattle. I looked after goats and sheep. I was able to do some milking. So when I tell you about unicorn herding, or being someone who is in charge or who is stewarding a unicorn, I'm talking from that village mindset, that just like how as a village boy, I was given, say, 20 cattle to look after them, and I was told that if one of them is missing, you're not coming home. You're not eating tonight. You must stay out there in the bush until you come back. You know, at first I thought my elders hated me. I thought that, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I was nearly depressed. But later I realized, later in life, that whatever resource you leave with me, I have an obsession to make sure that I look after that resource. So if you cannot take care of $1 or you cannot take care of $1,000, forget that you're going to take care of a unicorn that is worth $1 billion, meaning the good book says, be faithful with what you have in front of your table. So I just wanted to give a background there on why I chose the word unicorn herder. So unicorn herder is someone who's a custodian of a unicorn. We may call them a co-founder or a founder, but I prefer the village word herder. Three things that you must know make up a thriving unicorn herder or a potential unicorn herder. Are you focused? Do you have stamina or longevity? Are you good with administration? Oh my goodness. I think I hear some of you saying, administration, I'm going to hire everybody to administer for me. I think not. You need to be good on, first and foremost, administrating your diary. I know I'm speaking basics here. I've had some people approach me and they would negotiate across 2 weeks in order to discuss about having a meeting. I'm not going to that meeting. If you can't run your diary efficiently, I'm not meeting you. I'm sorry. Just recently, I had an invite to come and speak in Nigeria in one of the flagship conferences. I might be flying into Lagos or I might do it virtually. I'm not sure. But it came through about 2 days ago. And when I look at the heavy names that are on that list, these are the people that carry the weight of Nigeria's frontline wisdom. They are big names. I will reveal this later. But when I look at that, and you know what? They asked me, are you available? I just grabbed my diary, which is integrated on every device. It's even on my wall here. My diary is always on the wall, my live diary. I just looked at it and I just replied within 5 minutes. I said, I'm available. They said, wow, so fast. How? I mean, people usually take 2 weeks to get back to us. I said, no. I'm actually quite fast. When it comes to administration, I have automated everything. My schedule is synchronized to my co-founder's schedule. So I know when I'm available, when she's available. So I know I'm making a basic point here. Are you good with administration? Do you return people's emails? You can't start a unicorn if you don't reply to emails, if you don't LinkedIn messages. You need to make sure that you are a good steward of the opportunities that are given to you. Some people go like, I'm going to take myself seriously or take things seriously if you bring me $1 billion idea. It's not going to come. $1 billion opportunity is not going to come. I'm sorry to break it to you. If you are not faithful with the $10,000 opportunity that is sitting in your WhatsApp right now, that is sitting in your LinkedIn right now, it may not look like it, but it is. They say opportunity sometimes comes dressed in overalls, requiring to work. So please, I appeal to you, revisit your administration, revisit your relationship with finances, revisit your understanding of the legal framework that govern the industry that you want to disrupt. Clued up on the legal implications. You must be clued up on the planning and the vision. So your vision cannot come out of nowhere. It must fit inside the industry like a glove. Be focused. I've got too many emerging leaders that sometimes approach me, and I love mentoring people because I was mentored to get here. But sometimes if I mentor someone and every 6 months or every 6 days, they've got a new idea, I can't work with them. So make sure you make up your mind which idea you want to be sold out to. You want to give your life to that idea. And when people see you eating, breathing, living, sleeping, walking that idea, it's going to give people goosebumps. It's going to cause people to go like, I want to throw my money on this one. I want to throw my weight on this one. So please be focused. Think about the long term and take care of your administration. The small things that you think don't matter, take care of them. With that being said, I'm about to close now. You know, I often speak on LinkedIn and elsewhere in my talks about the Africa we want. But before we speak about the Africa we want, what are the skills we want? Are we going to train more and more and more goat headers or sheep headers or shepherds or cattle headers? Or do you want to train people that can code, that can program, that can that can run a tech startup? You know, some of people can code very well. Other people can take that code and turn it into a business. Other people, they can market that code and put branding around it. Other people, they can take that code to the market. Other people, they can take that code and blow it up into a brand that we can respect. Some of the names you saw, Paystack, Flutterwave, and I will even dare say an emerging unicorn. So we obsess about what we do. We know that there are skill sets. There are many skills I had to learn when I left corporate and I went into management consulting. There are skills that I didn't have. I had to learn them. When I did those big things and they got attention with that $2 million project almost overnight, I had to now learn new skills on how to be a tech startup founder. So what skills do you need to learn during and after this conference? Are you taking notes? I'm hoping that, dear audiences, you're taking notes, either here or you're taking notes on your phone. What skills do you need to learn in order for your idea to move from a lamb into a unicorn? Ask yourself that question, because with that being said, I'm about to close. If we are going to produce the Africa we want, we're going to have to remember when China was very poor, 80% of its economy was agriculture. And then they realized that, wait a minute, they need engineering skills. They need technical skills. They need the kind of skills that can give them world domination, economic domination on a macro level. But that's China. That's the leaders. And many other countries have been like that. India had to decide, wait a minute, are we going to focus on agriculture, or we are going to actually also become a business processing hub of the world? Think about it. China also decided to go into manufacturing on a macro level, but the Chinese youth, the Chinese emerging leaders had to learn those skills. I mean, it takes about 1,000 parts to assemble a phone. Did you know that? But somebody had to learn to assemble the camera part. Someone had to learn how to assemble the screen. And someone had to learn how to get coltan, raw mineral, from DRC. 80% of the world's coltan, which is one of the components in the phone, comes from DRC. Someone had to learn how to process it. But most of it is not processed in Africa. That's bizarre. We need to rethink the skills we want in order to produce the Africa we want. What skills are you teaching yourself? As I close, it's easy for you and I to say, our government is dropping the ball. Our political leaders are failing us. There's corruption here. It's very easy to point fingers. What skills are you teaching yourself? What skills are you even paying to learn for you to at least produce the life you want? Because the Africa we want will only be produced when you produce the life you want, I produce the life I want, and we produce the life we want for our customers and those that we are very privileged to serve. With that being said, good people, it is Shadrach Kubiani, co-founder of Coronet Blockchain. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. For the Africa we want, we must build the skill it requires. For the Africa we want, we must build the skill it requires. Thank you so much, sir. Let me allow my co-moderator to engage you, ask you some questions while I go around looking for those questions on our timelines.
Yay. Mr. Shadrach, well done.
Thank you kindly. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well done. That was such a powerful nugget.
Thank you kindly. I really appreciate
it.
Thank you so much,
So do we have any questions, Tunji?
No questions here yet. I'd like you to ask some questions.
I would like to ask, really, blockchain, in a nutshell, sir. Can you explain it for us? What is it about? What is blockchain about? I'm sure our audience would love to know a little more about blockchain. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So blockchain is normally referred to as a distributed ledger technology that ensures or that changes how trade is done. What am I talking about? When I speak about a ledger, I've got a ledger here. I've got a ledger with lines. You know, in accounting or in banking, you find that a ledger is a record-keeping manual, whether it's physical or digital. It's a record-keeping manual that ensures entry of records at various stages as money travels or as an item travels or whatever it is that is traveling through that ledger. Of course, the audiences might be aware that the first ever, a solution to use blockchain at a scale or at a level that matches what was actually cryptocurrency in terms of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has used blockchain successfully to ensure that money or digital money that is recorded, let's say that Mr. Olatunji wants to send me some money, that the money that he sends is the money that I receive. So the ledger has to record the details of the exact amount he sent so that there is no duplication of that money, because easily, before blockchain, if Mr. Olatunji send me some money, he might send me some $50. I mean, I could look at that thing and maybe add some more zeros, but blockchain ensures that the ledger entry he made is the ledger entry that will reach me. And without going into too much technical details, we all have the same ledger. Instead of in the past where Mr. Banker is sitting with his ledger, the shop owner is sitting with his ledger of how much goods is sold. Mr. Banker has a ledger of how much money the shop owner deposited, and the accountant is sitting with their own ledger. too many ledgers and lack of accountability. So blockchain gives us all the same ledger to make the same entries and look at any changes that happen. So we hold each other accountable. And last but not least, Nigeria at the moment suffers from a food wastage like South Africa. We are in the same level. Our smallholder farmers, when they harvest, both in Nigeria and South Africa, they lose about 20 to 30% of the crops. That is very bad for business. And then they lose another 20 or 30% in transit, meaning transporting their crops from harvest to the market. That's also bad for business. Blockchain is changing that by showing careful entries of why are we losing this harvest? Did you put enough manure? Did you put enough fertilizer? Did you water it enough? So now you can't tell me, oh, yes, sir, I did that. No. The blockchain ledger, you cannot change it. Once you put X amount of water on this day, it will stay like that for eternity. You can't rub it out. So that's blockchain in a nutshell. Thank you kindly.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So where do you see Africa exploring blockchain in the next 5 years?
Absolutely. Very good question. Very good question. You know, Africa is exploring blockchain between 2021 to 2025 in this window. Not only are we exploring blockchain, but there's artificial intelligence, there's machine learning, there's all these other, let's call them cousin technologies. How is Africa utilizing them? You know, the question is, we missed the first industrialization as a continent. We missed the second. We missed the third. We missed the third, meaning the industrialization of goods, manufacturing. We arrived too late in the manufacturing games. We've got 1 billion. We've got 1 billion Africans today. But how many of us are buying phones that come from Africa? So we missed out. The manufacturing is happening everywhere else except in Africa. Our mining products are actually taken out and processed somewhere else. Then we have to buy them back. We have been missing out big time as Africans. So where do I see Africa in the next 5 years? I see an Africa that wakes up and removes whatever cobweb was on the eyes and utilizes not just blockchain, but fourth industrial revolution so that we can teach the right skills, impart the right knowledge, and start mechanizing the right levers in industry. We need to stop talking about manufacturing. We must talk about smart manufacturing. We must stop talking about farming. We must talk about smart agriculture or agri-tech. So whatever it is that we've been doing, agriculture is the biggest employer on the continent, yet we have the lowest crop yield on this continent compared to other continents. What we plant into the ground, we get very little out of the ground. We get 50%, 40% if you are lucky. That is not too much. We must use blockchain. And we must take every technology available to make sure that the Africa we want is a smart Africa, is a united Africa. We must also use technology like blockchain to ensure that the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement is not just talk, but I can be able to send things to Nigeria effortlessly. And to do that, we need to leverage blockchain between South Africa and Kenya, South Africa and Nigeria, and within SADC countries or ECOWAS. We must adopt blockchain because blockchain will lower the walls that have been dividing us, will lower the boundaries. So the Africa I see is a more united Africa, and it's an Africa that uses technology for social good, and it's a smart Africa. Thank you kindly.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for explaining those. Thank you so much. Once again.
Blessings, ma'am.
Tunju, do we have
we have a question here right on the screen. How do you see the banks embracing blockchain? What are the concerns for their perspective and that of government? We have two questions. That's the first one. So let's go for it.
Yes. Giri, a great storyteller, and also a man who is also involved in data himself. Very good question coming from him. You know, it's not whether banks should embrace blockchain. It's not whether they should. It's what will happen if they don't. It's what will happen if banks don't embrace blockchain or they don't embrace it in time. I must put it out there that already there is some level of adoption by some of our local banks here on the continent, but that adoption or that use is too experimental and too tiny. It's almost like somebody wanting to take a swim during summer, and instead of actually diving into the pool, they just wanna dip their little pinky finger. There's just a little. So banks at the moment, they are doing this. Instead of diving into the pool and figuring out blockchain altogether, they're still dipping their little pinky. How do I see them adopting it? One, there is something in banking in the entire continent and the world. There's something called KYC. Know your customer. Remember earlier on, I spoke about if you're going to run a unicorn, you must obsess about your customer. And that is a customer obsession is one of the flagship traits that make Jeff Bezos who he is today in Amazon, because he obsessed about customers. So banks in Africa, I want to speak to them now. You have not been obsessing about your customers enough. It's time to repent. And it's time for you to get back to the drawing board and ensure that you rethink why the customer is important. That's number one. You see, we can't speak about blockchain or technology before we speak about a shift in mindset. The banks must become humble again. They must realize that the customer is king. The customer matters. They must not handle our data anyway and anyhow. They must not handle data wherever. They go like, oh, Mr. Shadrach, we can't really tell you why when we take your data, we begin to hide it from you. We ask you, where do you stay? What is your name? What is your identity number? And all these things. After you tell it to us, we're going to lock them away in a safe. And it's no longer your data, it's my data. So banks must rethink their data protocols around blockchain, because blockchain will ensure that while you volunteered your data, it still remains your data. So things around identity, that's the first element of blockchain in banking. And of course, the transactions themselves. Africa is battling cybersecurity attacks like nobody's business. Our banks have been hit. Our insurance companies have been hit. Financial services, nobody is safe. But blockchain, which I won't go too much into details, from a cybersecurity threat, neutralization. Blockchain is a lot taller than the traditional technology. So one, data protocols, data management. Two, cybersecurity to bolster up your walls. You need blockchain. And of course, the next level, if you adopt blockchain into your banking framework, it will make the banking experience less painful. And of course, through things like remittances. When you want to send your money home, if Mr. Olatunji want to send money back to the village or wants to send money to somebody, the traditional banks today, they can ask him to give anything between 15 to 25% of every dollar or every $100 that is sent. But blockchain is lowering that and minusing all the fluff and all the nonsense. And with blockchain, remittances, which is one of the banking functions, remittances can be as low as 3%, which is what the Sustainable Development Goals are aiming for. But to realize those goals, SDG 2030, we need blockchain to lower the remittances so we will not see this robbery that has been happening. Robberies in terms of us being charged too much money is because the banks are saying we have to protect your money here, protect your money here, protect your money here. Protection is better and cheaper with blockchain. It's not inferior, it's more superior, but it's more affordable. Thank you kindly.
Can I say something?
Interesting. Okay.
Well done, sir. Well done, Sir Shadrach. Can I say something? Do you know recently, the remittances you just talked about?
Yes.
I received some dollars. Okay.
Yes.
And I was really excited. How much it was? You wouldn't believe it. My bank took $25. And I was
Oh,
like, what the heck? I went
there
to
we
the
go.
bank. I demanded
There we
to
go.
speak with the manager. I was like, you didn't just take $5. You didn't take 10. You didn't take 15. You took a whooping $25. And he says to me, Madam, we're very sorry. The truth is, even if you receive $50, we will still take your 25. I'm like, what?
Oh my goodness.
So really,
There you have it.
I look forward to seeing blockchain, doing
It is
wonders and
awesome.
banks
Yes,
embracing it and
absolutely.
remittances dropping as low as 1%, 2%, 3% as you are,
Absolutely. If banks
envisaging.
if banks don't adopt it, then the rising fintechs or financial technology companies are going to take food out of the mouth of the banks because the banks were too comfortable. When you go to the bank and say, why did you take $25? You don't want an explanation. You want them to apologize and give you back your money.
Honestly.
But instead, they will tell you fine print. Ma'am, you didn't read. You didn't read over here. It says we can take whatever. We don't want fine print. We want our money. Don't chop our money. We did it for our kids. I can't send 20 slices of bread and you take 30 slices. I mean, you take 5 slices. You can't do that. That's for my children. What is wrong with this?
Honestly.
So if I send 20 slices, at least 19 slices must arrive. Not 12 slices, not what do you call it, 15 slices of bread. So we don't want an explanation, bankers. We're back. You need to stop with all the fine print and all the explanation. So if they don't do that, then somebody else in our blockchain ecosystem, like myself and others, we are going to change the narrative.
Mm.
Wow, absolute value. And this is
Yeah.
bringing to the world again what Business Momo stands for. Business Momo is to reduce business mortality rate in Africa. And one thing we have identified to be the cause of mortality in businesses in Africa is waste, the unnecessaries, those things that are not needed. We have so much, put ourselves in the big man shoes. We want to run big businesses, being big in the weight, everything unnecessary. You don't want it to be slim, you don't want it to be lean, in achieving the purpose. Okay, you don't need to go to here, there, and come back because you want to send $1. You have gone to 5 places. By the time you get your $1, it's almost finished, because this guy will take his share, that guy will take his share, and before you know it, this is actually affecting us, and seriously, I think that is where I really had to put it down. A book is coming out of this discussion already, and
Yes.
I have to put it down for us to have the smart Africa, to and for us to have unicorns coming out of Africa, we need to have the smart Africa. And that is it. You have to be joggable. You have to be smart enough to move from one point to the other if you want to be a unicorn. The distance between the lamb and the unicorn is too large, too wide, that there is no so much time for you to cover the space. So you need to be a unicorn actually to be able to cover the space in the shortest time possible. Yeah, it's very painful. We missed several, industrial revolution, but it's not this time again. We have to jump on the ship and move as fast as possible to be able to, get to that place of unicorn. It's painful that look at Africa. There are just few unicorns in Africa, and you see those guys. Maybe they already, we have decagons. We have I don't know the figures now. When you have people that are running 2 trillion, running
Yep.
almost 3 trillion now, just an institution. It's a lot. And these guys, when you look at it, smartly, we are the ones feeding that unicorn, from Africa. We are the ones feeding the unicorn. If we decide to take the food we are giving the unicorn away, the unicorn will starve. So let's see how we can do these things. Let's see how we can, put all of those things together in the smart way. Yeah, very, very interesting. There's a question here. Is corruption a possible reason for the unwillingness of certain quarters to embrace this technology?
Thank you. That's a very good question once again from Mr. Kenneth. Yes, to an extent, corruption is bringing about an adoption hesitancy. So to an extent, it's corruption, but there's also human nature. There's corruption and then there's human nature. There's a corrupt nature and a human nature. What do I mean by that? It means sometimes as human beings, our own brains protect us from things we don't understand. So if we don't understand something,
Yeah.
the brain is telling you, you
We
better
run
run.
away from it.
You better run for your life. This thing is strange. It's going to bite you. So then you start running in the opposite direction. So what we don't understand, we fear. And what we fear, we run away from it. So you know, in the workplace today, in Africa and elsewhere, there are 5 generations working. 5. They are your, what do you call it? They call them the baby boomers. Those are the people born in the 40s, 50s. And then there are those, there's 5 generations. There's also millennials. There's different generations. Then there's also the Gen Z. Those are the people now in South Africa, they call them AMA 2000, meaning those that are born in the years 2000. These generations, you know, we also have got a street term called the TikTok generation. We've got the TikTok generation. So we have to make sure that all these generations work together. We can't have the older generation that is controlling policy, controlling the law, controlling regulation, controlling resources, busy hogging the positions. We also can't have the younger generation saying, we want to start unicorns, but they disrespect the older generation. We're going to have a problem. So the generations must respect each other. They must work mutually so that without one generation blaming the other generation. Oh no, you are too young to be in charge. Oh no, you are too old to be around. We need to stop this mudslinging. We need to realize that multiple generations from the grandfathers that are still working, grandmothers, to our fathers and to ourselves and to those that are coming behind us. This is not time for Africa to see any generation or any age being insecure. Oh, I'm insecure. These ones are going to take our job. We must not be insecure. We must also not be, what do you call it? Must also not be age sensitive or be ethnic sensitive, whereby we go like, oh no, these people are taking our job. There has been scenarios of xenophobia on the continent to varying degrees. Even in South Africa, we had those. So to produce the Africa we want, we're going to have to throw away the colonial borders. Who put those borders in place? We must throw away the borders and work together, work across borders and work across generations, work across cultural differences. I mean, if you look at Nigeria, what do you call it? The number of languages, the number of tribes, north of 400. That is many ethnic. Those ethnic differences must equal diversity, not equal, oh no, I'm better than you. So we must really be watchful of corrupt forces that want to protect their pie. They want to protect their pie. Those that are corrupt, it's a ticking time bomb. They are going to be phased out. If they are not booted out, they are going to be voted out. So their day will come. But as for the rest of us that are not corrupt, we need to really put aside ethnic differences, put language differences, put even what color passport are you carrying? You're carrying a maroon passport, I'm carrying a green passport. That is nonsense. That's not the Africa we want. We must put aside every possible difference by age, by ethnicity, by language, or even by gender. Oh no, she's a woman, she can't be in charge. What is that nonsense? We need to be humble and come together and pull our resources and our insights together to shape the Africa we want. Because if you look at China, China is united. America is united. Us Africans, we're busy scratching each other. Oh no, I'm better. Oh, you are better than who? So we need to get rid of the nonsense.
Wow, absolute wonder. This is very interesting. I got another thing from there. You know, we need the grand approach to get off the grand. You know, the grandfather must not see anything bad meeting with the grandchild. That's a grand approach. Let all come so that we can get off the ground. It's on the ground that we have boundaries. You know, it's on the ground that we have fences. There in the sky, there are no boundaries. There in the sky, there are no fences. We need to go up above that, and that's when we can begin to think and see the Africa that we need, the Africa that we desire. This is absolute wonder. I can say for free that this is the strongest point on planet Earth at the moment, because we this is what Africa needs at this moment. They are insightful, they are big wisdom in simplest way possible for us to be able to pick up something and run. This is the empowering of the true African business gene. We need to be able to do stuff like this so that we get off the ground and get things done. The book I said came out of this is this. Okay, I think there's a question here before
Yes, yes.
I take
I
that.
can see Aremo.
No,
I think Aremo
I think it's
mentioned.
like a comment.
Yes, it's like a comment. I
Yes,
must agree with him.
Yeah.
Aremo said that one of the reasons why corruption is delaying the adoption of blockchain is because the man is going to have food taken out of their mouth, or the middleman is going to be chased out of the transaction. I'm going to make a quick example before we move to Charles. I'm going to make an example to agree with him. In East Africa, it is the coffee basin of the continent. So across Tanzania, Kenya. But why is it that when you and me, when the three of us fly to Dubai and we have coffee in Dubai, we can pay $8, we can pay $10 for one cup of coffee, but the money that will go back to Kenya, the money that will go back to Uganda is only 1 cent. 1 cent for that cup. The Kenyan 1 cent. So yes, there's too many middlemen. They are wicked. They are not adding any value to this coffee equation. Let's go to West Africa. Between Ghana and Ivory Coast, that is the 70% of the world's raw cocoa comes from Ghana and Ivory Coast. Nigeria is also playing a role in there and is trying to increase raw cocoa. But how much do we pay for chocolate? We pay X amount for chocolate, but those raw cocoa farmers can hardly make a living. And here's what's embarrassing before I close on that point. Why is it that our cocoa farmers cannot afford chocolate? That is bizarre.
It's so bizarre. What is the role of blockchain in the digital law industry in relation to the advent of artificial intelligence?
Very good question. Remember, blockchain, the word I brought up to answer Charles, is a digital decentralized ledger. So ledger speaks about record keeping. And one thing that the legal fraternity or the legal community cannot do without at any point is records. When you bring up a certain clause or a certain case reference and go like, listen, in the state of Oyo or in the state of Lagos, this was a case that came before the courts in 1972, and I'm going to pull up records in 2 seconds to show you what the judgment was and what the benchmark was. So blockchain will decentralize both the record keeping, the record protection, and also the record access. Because in law, you need legal references at your fingertips. Right now, there are certain players that have disenfranchised, or they have kind of like broken the distribution of data across the legal fraternity, whereby the books. The books are very expensive. Data is very expensive to access. So as a result, it is impacting the quality of representation in the courts. So with blockchain decentralizing access, ensuring that various players across the legal chain are able to access the same data without having to travel everywhere. That's number one. Number two, what about patents? Patents are one of the biggest threats to Africa, because if we start our unicorns, our intellectual property should not be stolen. But to defend intellectual assets, you need records that shows that this patent was filed on this day in that way. So if we all have a global and a Pan-African same reference, not broken reference, but same reference, then it's easier to pull up the patent and streamline or make it quicker to win those patent battles. Last but not least, anti-competitive law It's another reason. What if there are some monopolies? And what's weird, Nigeria is actually very popular on this one. It's a leading country on the continent when it comes to monopolies. Most of what you call business is not unicorns, it's monopolies. So you find one man, I'm not going to mention any names, please. I want to be safe. You find one man being a majority player in just in 10 industries. That might be good for that man. That might be good for his wallet. That might be good for his cash. But remember, consumer obsession, customer obsession, the consumer always loses when there are monopolies. If Mr. Shadrach and Mr. Olatunji, they put together a deal at night, he supplies bread to the western part of Nigeria, I'm supplying bread to the southern part of Nigeria, and we go like, hey, Abby, you need to make a plan. We must increase our price now. We're not going to tell anybody. We're going to increase by $1 because even the banks, that $25 that was taken from your pocket is because the banks are all doing it. They go like, we must take money. They agree. Those are monopolies, and monopolies are bad for the consumer. The monopolies, they take power from us as the consumer, business to consumer. So monopolies, blockchain makes it easier for record entry to go like, which day did you agree to increase the price of bread or the price of sugar? Show us all the records. Without blockchain, they'll tell us there's 20 records in 20 states. We have to run around. But with blockchain, we're going to, wait. I need to see. Let me see your records. Let me see their records. So it's easier to observe and pick up anti-competitive behavior where the two businesses don't want to compete. They want to be friends behind closed doors so that the consumer loses. Blockchain decentralizes access and creates a see-through transparency in trade. So we will know the truth, and the truth will set us free.
Amazing. Monopoly, one policy. One policy. When did we come to agree that we should all agree to one policy? We have diverse kind of tastes, diverse kinds of desire, satisfaction level for different customers. So we should not have just one policy and say, okay, Ford said at that time that everybody can get a car as long as it is black. That was what Ford said then, and that was because he was making only black cars. You understand? So that's the one policy, the mono policy, and that's where we've got to. Really, the book I said came out of this discussion already. I'm already thinking about it. I know I may even need us to even work on it together, and that is C of O for building big businesses. The C of O for building big businesses, and that is customer obsession.
Yeah.
C of O for building big businesses. Customer obsession. We need that for Africa, really. We need that for Africa because it's just like as it is in the good book that you must love your neighbor as yourself. That's the formula. When you love enough, we are able to, bring out things that are bigger than us, things that can outlive us and do so much well than we can even imagine. That's the formula. That's the formula. Absolute pleasure to have you here today. I think I'm blown away. It's a good start for us today. Vivian, what do you have to say to our wonderful speaker this morning?
Madam Vivian,
Mr. Shadrach, you're awesome. You're really amazing. The truth is, Olatunji took the words from my mouth. I loved that point where you mentioned the fact that, look, blockchain should be all about you getting obsessed, And then you talked about the fact that, the Africa we want, okay, it should be embedded in me as a CEO or as an entrepreneur, being focused on my clients, on my customers. Not just being focused, being obsessed about them, about delivering, excellent services. I should be obsessed in making them happy. I should be obsessed in delivering value at every point in time. But it's unfortunate that Africa that we are in today aren't there yet. We're looking forward to getting there. where the
That is
customer is
that's
indeed
powerful.
our priority.
I love
Mm.
that. I
Well
love
done,
that.
Yeah,
sir.
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Thank you, Madam Vivian.
You know, one of the drawbacks we have had in adopting blockchain is that blockchain is actually exposing the weakness of an average African, and that's a
Mm.
weakness of record keeping. We are not
That's
used to
right.
keeping record. We
Yes.
are
At
not used
all.
to keeping. It's not in our
Yes.
nature. The same thing too with smart energy. The green
Hmm.
energy. We are
Hmm.
used to just turning on the light, and
Hmm.
when they seize the power, it's there. When they bring it, it
That's
means it's
right.
there. When you're at home or
That's
not, it's
right.
just there. So
I, I love
keeping.
I love the record keeping. Yes, I love the record keeping example, and I would like to add an example there. You know how in Africa we love the culture of paying dowry. In South Africa, we call it lobola, meaning a gift.
Lobola.
Uh, lobola. I think globally it's called dowry, meaning a gift that is paid for the woman when she gets married. So that
That's
gift,
right.
I'm not sure what is called on your side, but sometimes you ask yourself a question: which council, which traditional council sits to decide the price? Which who is deciding the price? I need the records. I need the minutes. I need the minutes of the meeting. Who is deciding the price, and who is increasing the price? Because you may be shocked. I mean, I discovered this recently that the people that have been influencing in South Africa, maybe Nigeria is different. The people that have been influencing the increase of the price of lobola are actually not Africans. They are European-owned businesses because they know that when you increase the kettle, they're the ones that are selling the kettle. They're the ones that are selling the gifts. They're the ones that are
That's
selling the
right.
pot. They're the ones that are selling the clothes. They tell you, why are you having one set of clothes in your wedding? Is there something wrong with you? You must change 10 times. Wait a minute. That is 10
Yeah.
dresses. So
I
they go like,
wonder.
they go like, it's not cool to show up with one jacket. You are a boring man. You must change 10 times. Wait a minute. Who is it benefiting when the people are dancing and they change again and they're dancing, they change? Who is it benefiting? European businesses. So we thought we are Africans. We thought it's our culture. We thought it's this, is this. But somebody is puppeteering and somebody is adding minutes on those records to say, tell them it is stupid to wear one dress. Tell them it is stupid to eat, to only have a small wedding. Tell them you are not important. You must have a wedding with 5,000 guests. Wait a minute. How are you going to feed them? What are you going to feed them? You're going to break the bank, being impressing the village and making the European business rich. But we thought we are
Honestly.
South Africa. We thought, yeah, man, many people came to my wedding. I'm going to, oh, I feel sorry for your bank account. I feel sorry for your bank account. But we thought we are Africans. Are we really? So maybe we need those records. We know those records. Who determine the dress code? Who determine how many times we must change at the wedding? And who determined what are the fitting gifts that are appropriate? Where are we buying these gifts? Is the people that are telling us, hey, buy over
That's
there.
right. That's right.
Our record keeping is killing us. We must change it.
Ah,
That's very, very interesting. Blockchain has
absolutely.
exposed that secret,
Yes,
and
it
Yeah.
has been good to
that's
us.
why we are
Yes,
fighting it. We don't want to adopt it because it's speaking to our weakness. We don't
yes,
understand how it actually revealed that secret we never wanted anybody to have.
there we
Yeah.
go.
Imagine the Bible were to be written from Africa, we would have lost a lot of manuscripts, you know, because
Oh,
things
oh,
happen.
God is
Honestly.
God have
Honestly.
mercy on us. Talking about the Bible, there are two
Amen.
men that are fighting in Nigeria today. There are two billionaires that are having what Professor Ndubisi calls sugar wars. They are fighting for the sugar market. And
Mhm.
Mm.
in their fighting, there's a lot of letters being exchanged with the government. Sometimes, I
Mhm.
mean, I think one of the comments that came is that our record keeping is too chaotic. So sometimes the government end up opposing itself. They go like, well, this is wrong. And then the other opponent goes like, wait a minute, but you approved this. 3 months ago. Can't you look at records? Can't you study your own laws and your own records? So maybe blockchain must be adopted quicker, because sometimes the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. In government and in big business. So those sugar wars, maybe they are not just about sugar. Maybe the real sweet deal is that they are revealing that our records in the continent are too chaotic. We don't know what the
Yeah.
left hand is doing to the right hand. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Very well, very well,
That's
very
right.
well. Vivian, you want to say something? I want to allow our guests to go because it's schedule. I think I have an idea of the schedule, so I
Yes.
will
Okay.
not take advantage of the record I have.
No
Thank you,
problem.
thank you. Over
No
to you, Madam.
problem. No
Yes.
problem, sir. We would allow you go, attend to other businesses. We are
Yes.
grateful to have had you,
Thank
to have
you.
educated by you. Thank you so
Yes.
much for impacting Africa and Africans. We are grateful, sir. More grace to your
Thank you.
elbow. God bless you,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Thank you so much, Madam Vivian. I must take this opportunity to thank all the guests that joined us on this journey. And if you are a future guest and you look at this recording into the future, we also thank you as well. And you know what? I must thank also what do you call it, my host for today. Thank you for being hospitable, because you didn't just host me, but you hosted Africa. Thank you
That's
so
right.
much. Thank you.
That's right.
Bless you.
Namaste. Thank you so much. It's good to have
Cheers,
you.
sir.
Thank you, Asante, Asante. Thank you.
Asante.
Thank you so much.
Asante. Bye, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think I'm enjoying myself so much today. It's a great pleasure to be here. And we already have, the next guest is waiting here already. His smiles are, captivating, and he's going to be taking us in, leading us into, the talent show. We didn't have a lot of people come up for the talent show, but him alone is sufficient, to even take care of that. So it's a pleasure to have him. Before he comes on stage, I just want to quickly do a reset for our audience. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Seriously,
Yeah.
if you missed the last session, let Vivian talk about what you have missed.
Hey, oh my God. Our audience, we are really grateful to have you aboard with us. Yeah, I know you haven't missed a lot, but just a recap of a quick note that I took. Maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to be getting one or two value in case you didn't join on time. So, Shadrach, Tunji, I do not know how to pronounce his surname, but Mr.
don't, bo-
Shadrach,
don't bother. Don't bother.
yeah, had done a whole lot, a whole lot. He talks so much about some unicorns, big players. In fact, I am even very surprised to hear the fact that unicorns in should we say in Africa are not up to 10, Tunji.
Yeah, it's
The big
painful.
players are not up to 10. So what are you doing? What is Vivian Nze doing? What is Mr. Olatunji doing? And you, our distinguished audience, what are you doing? We must become a big player. We must become a unicorn. Like Uber, Alibaba.com, Facebook, Zoom. We must put our name out there, doing something amazing, impacting our generation. So some of the things he mentioned, let me go right into it. Three things to help you evaluate whether or not you have a unicorn idea or business. So he said your business or idea must be disruptive. He says it must be technology based. So your product, services, has to be really something that can be assessed via technology, not the manual way of doing things. You must embrace technology. And then the third, customer focus. That's where he mentioned that point that you must be obsessed with or about your customer. I mean, obsessed to delivering the best. to delivering excellent service, to giving them the, good services at every point in time. And so he talks about the three traits of a unicorn, or three traits of
Okay,
founders.
allow me to cut you in now. I would like
Mhm.
you to keep the rest for later because so that we don't start another session and people
Okay,
already like, hey, what's up
okay,
here?
but
Yeah,
perhaps let me just mention those two. Those two things he mentioned, Tunji, they are really very, very important. So I'll
very,
end
very.
there. As a founder, you must be good with administration. And then he says, number two, you must be focused. You must know what you want, who you are, where you're headed. That's it.
Yeah, let me balance it up and longevity. You
That's
must have
right.
that side that okay, you
That's
know
right.
what, it
Yes.
must outlive me, and that's very
Yes.
important. Thank you
That's right.
so much. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. For our audience, it's a pleasure to have you till now. For those that are just joining, it's absolute pleasure to have you. And then we are having a superstar coming,
Oh,
up on
yeah.
stage now. Is already, in the studio, and he wants to talk to us about talents. I mean, talents in Africa. I've come to
Okay.
realize that in Africa, we have a lot of unicorn talents, not businesses. A lot of people who have so much talent. I mean,
Mm.
amazing talent, but how to turn the talents into business has been a big headache, has been a big problem. And that's one of the difference, we have across board and between Africa and the rest of the world. He's going to be, showing us a lot of things that he has done himself, how, his journey and everything. We just want to learn from him. It's a typical example of, okay, this is talent. This is what I like to do. This is what I think I can do. And much more than that, I think this thing can also be a business. You're welcome, sir. It's a pleasure to have you.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Good morning,
Yeah.
sir.
Good morning. I'm humbled to be here and highly honored. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. We're glad and happy, excited to have you on board.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm trying to maximize the best view for him. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I think I have an idea of your schedule. Yesterday was quite busy for you, and today is already busy already. Thank you so much. It's good to have you here today. We are not going to take too much time as we allow you to go straight, and then we sit back to enjoy.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Fire. I'm waiting.
Fire on, sir.
Fire on, sir.
Uh, what's the question? What's the question? What do you want me to
Yeah.
talk about?
Yeah, we want to talk
Talent
about talent in Africa.
in
Yes,
Africa.
your journey, especially how for you, you are very big in the media industry. How it all happened. We want to be able to see a clear picture. For upcoming talent in Africa, you see what is just more than the hobby. Because we notice that we have had a lot of talents that are supposed to become businesses, to profit Africa, but some way they have been left at that low level. They just feel like, okay, let us just do it, for the hobby. Let us just do it, because we like it, and we are losing out of the potential value that they should have given us in Africa.
Um, okay. Once again, thank you very much for having me on your program. My name is Dayo Adedaya, and I'm a photographer and also an author. Talents abound all over the continent. Uh, the major challenge we have in Africa to start with is we are very happy people, and what we require in Africa is very little. Unfortunately, the Europeans came in and distort our system. That really changed the dynamics of our communities because what we have in Africa is totally different from what you will see in Europe. In Africa, you have fishermen to start with that will only go to the sea to fish for the day. not for the week, not for the month, not to sell throughout the year. They will only go to the sea to fish for the day and rest at the end of the day. Following day, they start all over again. The Europeans came and said, now this is not the model. You have to buy a trawler, go out there, catch more than enough fish, work for a certain years, and at the end of the day, you retire. But they're saying, no, we are retired already. I'm enjoying my siesta. I sleep. And it's one of the reasons why we have Africans marrying many wives, because they apportion jobs to their wives to take care of the family, while the men do little. But let me leave history and go back into the modern day. I mean, we can't go back to the end of the clock anymore, because we are we are moving forward, and the only way we can get things done is to live in the 21st century. Yes, there are talents, and unfortunately, again in Africa, we don't have leaders. I mean, examples are all over the continent. People who has been in government, head of government for years, still trying to be there. And the first thing in business is this: integrity. Integrity goes a long way. I tell people I don't have money, I'm not famous or anything. The only thing I have is my name, and my name opened doors for me. When you have integrity, it goes a long way in whatever you're doing. Money is insignificant, because how much money do you want? If it is money, the likes of Dangote doesn't need to work for the rest of their lives anymore. You know, there's no need for him to say, I want to build the largest refinery in the world, to do this, to do that. So money is just a number. And that is one of the mistakes the generation, the new generation, if they are 40 and under, are looking at. Most of them are looking at money, and money is absolutely irrelevant in the scheme of things. What is most important, which is universal, is integrity and love. When you love what you are doing, you love yourself, you love your family, certainly love will go around you. And there is no doubt about it that you'll be successful. And my success doesn't equate to the amount of dollars you have in your account. There are so many successful Africans that do not have money, but we all know them. I mean, if you look at Kenya, you have Umuge Watingo. You look at Nigeria, you have what is it called? You have Wale Soyinka, and the likes of them across the continent. So you don't see these people and equate it to money. What you look at them is, oh, what they've achieved in their lives. I mean, you look at footballers, you look at entertainers. It's just now the entertainers in Africa are thinking money, 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 money. And if you watch their videos, their musical videos, you can't even have a young person sitting down with you to watch the musical videos. Why? All they are selling is just sex and throwing money all over the place and drinking. You know, in the days gone by, you see, you listen to the lyrics and they act out the lyrics. But now it's all about money. So for me, you have to de-emphasize money in whatever you do, because you might end up having the money and in the process lose your integrity. But if you have integrity, you will have money, and that money will stay forever. And if I'm going to make an example of myself, I wasn't looking for money when I started photography. It wasn't about money. It was just something I loved doing. And in the process, things will always happen. I'll make reference to Dangote again. Apparently, Dangote started selling sweets when he was in primary school. You know, so we need to have passion for whatever we do, because what do we need in life? Shelter, food, and clothing. Those are the basic things of life. And if you look at the lockdown, during the first lockdown globally, what were we looking for? All the clothes that we bought, we cannot even wear it. All the shoes, nobody cares about it. What was most important then was, what do I eat and where do I sleep? So when you look at that in the scheme of things, you will see that nature has been so kind to us in Africa. We have what is it called 24/7. We have summer 24/7, and it's only in Africa that we leave the sun and go to the sun in Europe, because the Europeans have messed our brain up to say, oh, summer is this, summer is that. Meanwhile, we have our summer 24/7. So in a nutshell, it's more of integrity, love, passion, and that is what I've been doing for the past 33 years. Whatever comes after that actually is just bonus. I tell people, even though I've been in this line of business for 3 years, I tell people I've never worked for one day, because to me it's just having fun. What does it take for me to just pick up a camera and go out and do what I have to do? People are paying me for having fun. Let me put it that way. And I've been to over 45 countries in the world, having fun, paid for by someone else. So at the end of the day, it's integrity, because when you mention my name, you will never equate it to money or anything. It's just about, oh, that photographer, oh yes. And to me, that is the way forward, and that is what we need to inculcate. And the younger generation should try as much as possible to play a role in politics as well. We stay away from politics, and at the end of the day, we leave politics to the dredge of the society. The dredge of the society will now make decisions for us. And then you start complaining, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. Meanwhile, you are not part of the process. And there is no way they will call you to be part of them, because you are not part of them. And like a slogan in Mushi in Lagos, if you don't buy a wristwatch, there's no way you have wristwatch on your hand. So if you're not part of them, it will be very difficult for you to take decisions. But the general rule is integrity. If you don't have that integrity, there's no way you can build your business, because you will need credit at a point. If you are not doing a low-level business like I do, if you are doing something that requires money, without integrity, there is no way you'll be able to go to the financial institutions for them to help you grow your business. But with integrity, you can easily grow your business. And come to think of it, my father, for example, when he was alive, they get credit from abroad. He was a goldsmith and also a trader. All the things he used to sell in those days, they will sell it to them on credit. After selling, they send back the cost of the goods, keep the profits, until some people came in and think the white man is foolish. They don't sell anything to you again. And at the end of the day, without struggle to look for capital, which is now, for Nigeria that I know very well, it's really difficult for banks to give people loan. Why? Because the moment they get the loan, the next thing is to go and get a second wife or a third wife, or just going around messing around. And that boils down to integrity. So whatever we do in this world, integrity is key. Without integrity, forget it. You can't move from A to B.
Wow. That reminds me of a very notable point that was made yesterday by one of our speakers. He was saying that at this point in his own life and career, what actually now matters is not the competence. A lot of people can do it, but what actually matters is the integrity, and that's something that I've seen, and I see it as a simple technology of translating talents to business, to whatever you want to do. Can people put a credit note on your name that, okay, you know what, this guy, give him all he wants, I'm very sure that he will be coming back, to do whatever he has promised to do and all of it like that. I wanted to share with us, your experience. I think I got really interested in what you are doing from the book you you publish about Africa. I think, is it Africa now, Nigeria? Capturing, I think it's Nigeria. So capturing, I don't know if you have that, in presentation today, because I want us to have that picture for Africa. I want us to have that picture for Africa to be able to see and say, okay, wow, this is interesting, because from that perspective, you're able to paint for us a picture that um, with our talents, no matter what it is, we can actually, picture our country and make our country look the best possible. The correct imaging, actually, does a lot for people to be able to actualize their dreams. When people have the wrong imaging, it becomes very difficult. For Africa especially, we have been told a lot of bad things about ourselves, and we have believed a lot of bad things about ourselves. But it's time. One of those things that have kept us at the talent level, unicorn talents that have not translated to unicorn businesses, unicorn ideas and all of it like that, because of those lies that we have been told. And it's very possible that we can get what is better. That will start from correct imaging. So, and that's why, I will really appreciate your perspective as somebody who has a literal understanding of imaging and also an absolute sense of what it means when it comes to getting things done.
Yeah, sorry, I lost the connection to my headphone, so I'm trying
Okay.
to connect it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes,
We
sir.
can
We
hear
can
you.
hear
Okay,
you.
all right,
Okay.
I'm hearing you. I will just continue on the phone.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
very well.
we can, sir.
Okay, all right. So, in terms of what I do, um, you cannot know my house more than I do. There is no way a stranger will come into my house and tell me where this is, where I kept this and stuff, which propelled me to do what I do because I study photography. And as at 15 years ago, if you go on the internet and look up any good images on Nigeria, I'll be very specific on Nigeria now. You will hardly see anything nice about Nigeria. And I kept talking to myself, this is not the Nigeria that I know. I'm 57. And when we were young, we used to go around the country, and I know it is beautiful. So that was what propelled me to start that journey. And in doing that, what I want to do is actually to change the narratives. Because if you sell, if you advertise your illness, you will certainly find a cure for it. And what we've done to Africa is we are calling Mother Africa a witch. And of course, the rest of the world started running away from us to say, oh, don't touch Africa. But there is war, there is famine, they will come to our aid, give us $1 and take $10 out of the country, out of the continent. So it will get to a point whereby, it has gotten to a point whereby we don't even believe in Africa ourselves. And that is why a lot of Africans are dying in the deserts, dying in the Mediterranean to cross over into Europe. But what we do not realize is, I tell people, if you are 45 years and above in Nigeria, I don't know the statistics in the rest of the continent, we are the selfish generation because a greater percentage of us, I would not say 100% of us, over 90% of us went to public institutions. After we've gotten our education, gotten to a level where it is our turn to now provide service for the generations coming behind us, we are all looking for a plan B to leave the continent to go abroad. And so therefore, you go to any developed country, you will not but be amazed at the numbers of Africans who are doing very well in Europe and North America. To worsen the case, example, I would mention the country Canada. To go to Canada, you have to be a degree holder. And another example is the United States of America. You have so much medical professionals from Nigeria who went to school and paid zero amount to study. immigrating to America, getting to America, while their contemporaries in America have loans to pay in hundreds of dollars. They have zero loan to pay back. Even as a graduate in Nigeria, you don't have a penny to pay back to government because your education, I would say, is virtually free. And at the end of the day, my own way of bridging the gap is for me to go out to say, hey guys, this country is not like the way you think it is. There is more to this great country than oil and gas. That which started the whole process of me going around the length and breadth of Nigeria, and there is nowhere in this country that I haven't been to, just to showcase how beautiful the country is. And I'm currently working on a book, which was sent to the press last week, titled Nigeria, a Visual Portrait. And there's another one coming after that, Nigeria the Beautiful, where you see the best of the most beautiful landscape you can see anywhere in the world, virtually in this country. Yes, we have challenges. Yes, the economy is not doing well, which is a fault of us. We're over 200 million people. All of us are looking for food. There isn't enough food. What I'm wearing from head to toe, my glasses, everything is imported. We are not producing anything, and we are blaming the politicians. So for me, Africans need to sit back. Everybody is talking about China being the richest country in the world today. Who knows China 30 years ago? Everybody wants something now. You know, there is a food in Nigeria. I don't know whether they eat it in the rest of Africa. Or don't let me use food. Everybody knows popcorn. What we want is popcorn. We want it now. Something that we can get in 1 minute or 2 minutes. Not knowing that nation building takes a while. The Europe and the North America you are running to, people have died for their democracy. People have been killed to make the country better. So what stops us in Africa to sit back and say, hey, what is the use of me being a billionaire in dollars or being called a successful black man in America or in Africa? In America or in Europe. And you see your compatriots back home, because wherever you are in the world as a black man, you are still an African. If we can all sit back and say, which is impossible really, because everybody will not come back home. But if a greater percentage of us can sit back and say, let's change the narratives, because it's like me, Tunji, coming to your house today. Oh, your house is beautiful. Come back to my wife to say, oh, you won't believe how beautiful Tunji's house is. Let's go there for the weekend. Of course, you will accept me for the weekend. Then I'll say, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. Oh, I want to live perpetually in your house. Of course, if you don't frown, your missus will frown at me. And that is what we're doing to ourselves, going to America, going to Europe. It has gotten to a point. In the world, there was no visa before now. Visa is just to curtail immigration, so unwanted people will not come in. That is what visa is all about, you know. And now they are tired of us, even though they want the good ones, but the bad ones are slipping through. And once they slip through, they will not be able to differentiate the bad guys from the good guys, which is a sad story in Africa. And that is all I'm trying to do with my own work for the rest of the world to see that, hey, Nigeria is beautiful. And in this beauty, there are opportunities. Because for me, you don't have to be in Lagos, Kano, Calabar, Ibadan, Enugu, the major cities, to be successful in life. Because if you look at the United Nations, no matter how tiny the Republic of Benin is to Nigeria, or no matter how mighty China is to Nigeria, when they get to the United Nations, they are just president of a nation. And same thing applies in each country across the 45 countries in Africa, to say, hey, I can be in Calabar, do what I love doing, and be successful. So the best man in Lagos, which is the economic capital of Nigeria, if he's looking for a tailor, for example, in Calabar, because you are the best in Calabar, which is a first-class ruler, he will come back to you. And that's the way things are across Nigeria. So we need to change narratives. And for me, coming with all these beautiful images. All I'm trying to do is for people to know, because we sit in one corner in our major cities in Nigeria saying, oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, without even knowing the next door neighbor or your next local government. And I tell people there is nothing they have in South Africa or Kenya that we don't have in Nigeria. And a greater percentage of the Europeans and Americans that goes to Kenya do not go to Kenya to see Kenya. They go to Kenya to see the wildlife, which is totally different. But now imagine if we're doing integration within ourselves. 200 million people in Nigeria to go around, and over 2 billion people in Africa, just going around Africa. We will spend our money between us. Until a few years ago, to go to any Francophone country in West Africa, which you can drive to, you have to first of all go to France, get a plane, and then fly into any Francophone countries. But thank God, the narratives have started changing. But whichever way we find ourselves, whether you are an engineer, you're an accountant, a lawyer, a banker, a doctor, whichever profession you find yourself, try as much as possible to distinguish yourself, because whether you like it or not, without even saying a word, the younger ones are looking at you. And whatever you do, they will copy, not necessarily even within the home. It's not what you tell your children that they do. It's what you do that they see and they copy. So for me, my narrative is to change the story of Nigeria from being, I don't want to mention names because I know we are better than that. It's only a fraction, even it's insignificant, the numbers of people that are ruining the continent, both at the political leadership and at the followership level as well. So at the end of the day, we have a beautiful continent where you can throw any seed away without planting. And if you come back in a few days' time, it has germinated. And that is how we used to feed ourselves in those days, because we don't have an organized situation whereby we dump our refuse somewhere. It's all this came from Oyinbo people, from Europeans, to say, oh, we have to organize this, and we don't have anything. The environment that they're talking about now did not originate from Africa. We build our houses with thatched roofs and muds, which will disintegrate after a while. Another generation will come and build their home. But now we are using plastic, using cement, and all these things that will take forever to disintegrate. So there is more in Africa, there is more in Nigeria for everybody to live comfortably well. But there isn't enough for our greed, for some few people to be buying Mercedes or buying Rolls Royce all over the place. There isn't enough. There is enough for us to move from point A to point B in whatever situation we find ourselves. And coming to me again, I do not look at money the way most people see money. Money to me is just a means to get what you want. The most important thing to me is legacy. We are all passing through this planet. At one time or the other, every one of us will go, and nobody is leaving this planet alive. We're all going to die. So what would they say about you? Which is integrity. Because whatever you sow, you reap. The moment you have a child, it's certain you are going to die. Same thing in the animal kingdom. Once a fruit comes up, that tree can go anytime, because that fruit is meant to multiply, to recreate again. So that's the way I reason. Once I go, what will they say of me and to my children and to my community? What I want to do personally is to add values to the way I've met this place, to make it better than I met it. So for those coming behind, to have a peaceful society, a greater mind, and if possible in my lifetime, for the white folks to respect us. Because as it is today, anywhere you go in the world, the blacks are always at the bottom of the ladder. Even in America, we are at the bottom of the ladder. Go to Europe, we are at the bottom of the ladder. And unfortunately, once a black man makes money, he leaves the blacks ghetto and goes into the white folks. Same thing with the religion that was dropped onto us to say, one is better than the other. We left our own. In the days of our fathers, we swore by what they believe in. And up to tomorrow, people still believe those things work. So you will not try to go against it. But now, because of modernity, we now swear on Bible or Quran that we don't believe in. And you know that you are lying. And at the end of the day, we need the likes of Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, who are pushing Africans, but for Africans to be better. And some of the blacks that went into, that was taken into slavery in those days, I've forgotten the most famous one now, who were pushing Africa should be united and get things done. And that's the only way forward, because without unity, no matter what you do as an individual, you will struggle to be successful, which led to businesses not going through the second generation in Africa, because it's just me. We want to have 100% of everything instead of 10% of a greater company. So for me, photography is a tool for me to change the narratives, and very soon I'll be venturing into the rest of Africa. It's just to change our narratives for people to say that, oh, it's not animals, it's not the Serengeti that we have in Africa. We have much more. Our food, our culture, our architecture, long before the Europeans set foot on this continent. We've been building pyramids all over the place. But of course they came, and it's only the winner of the war that tells the story. They came, if you go into the history books, what they did to the Shaka Zulu in South Africa, how they demolished the old things in South Africa, and because they have the guns, we don't have the guns, but we have the spears and arrows that we used to hunt for our animals to eat, But then again, shall we go back into 300-400 years and be resting? It's back to the basis of integrity and love. Thank you.
Wow. This is I would like you to say something, Vivian, please. I
No,
think I'm
Tunji,
short of words. You
Tunji
made
is
this.
more like a sober moment, right? A sober moment. Mr. Dio, thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love, integrity, oh my
Passion.
God, and passion. You see those two, just put passion aside. You see love, integrity. You can never go wrong with those two. With those two. Sometimes I usually hear people, you have passion, you must train for your passion to also make way for you. Having passion somehow is usually not enough, sir. I don't know if I'm right. It's usually not enough. You can have passion, like from here to, quantify it however you want, but at some point, passion is no longer, it's usually not enough. You see, integrity is key, just as Mr. Dyer has said. Tunji, you can never go wrong with integrity. Thank you so much, sir. What has happened to him? I cannot see him. Can you see him,
Yeah,
Tunji?
yeah, yeah. I'm not seeing him
Okay.
too.
Okay,
I
maybe
guess
network.
we lost. Yeah, the network.
Maybe
Okay, but
network. Yeah.
seriously, those were
And then and
very
then he
deep
also talked
thoughts.
about that aspect of you not placing emphasis on money.
Mm-hmm.
Who in Africa who want to hear? Oh my God, pardon me. Let me laugh it out. Money. At some point, you would definitely go wrong if your emphasis are always on money. Money
Mm-hmm.
will come. Look, 33 years of being a photographer, definitely he's to be celebrated. And okay, he mentioned something about the fact that 15 years ago, he had looked, there was no single good image about Nigeria. Do you understand? And he took it upon himself. I'm pretty sure if I Google now and I see a beautiful image about Nigeria, it's probably going to be the work of Mr. Dyer.
Of
How
course, of
many of
course.
us, how many of us Sincerely, Tunji, thank you for bringing such a noble man, such an icon. I've never heard his name. You can imagine, even being in the media and everything. Thank you, sir. I'm so honored to meet you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having such a heart towards Nigeria and to rewrite the wrong, to change the narrative. Who, unfortunately, we all care about money, but you are making us realize that it's not always about money. Talent, we should rather focus on giving value and being the best in our fields, in our industries, in wherever we find ourselves, and not money. Thank you, sir. God bless
Thank
you.
you. Thank you,
Yes, sir.
madam.
Thank you
God
so
bless you
much.
too.
I noticed we lost you a bit.
Yeah.
You had issues with the network.
Yeah, it's the network. Yes.
Okay, you're welcome, sir.
No, we
I don't
no, we will
know.
get there one day.
Yes, sir. I don't know if you have any show for us, from the book you did on beautiful places in Nigeria and stuff like that. It would be a good
Okay.
pleasure
Sorry,
Uh,
Tunji.
if it's just a
Sorry,
snippet.
Mr. Dyer. Mr. Dyer.
yeah, I can hear you, madam.
Okay, please. I was actually going to also talk about your book. Is it possible you tell us a little more about your book? Maybe just
Yeah.
a few minutes so that our
Okay.
audience will be able to know about your book, the name, what is it about?
Okay.
I know Tunji know a whole lot about it, but our audience obviously don't, and myself
Okay.
as well. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. Since I started publishing, I've published 15 books so far. The first
Oh,
one just
wow.
started in Nigeria. Yeah, 15 books.
Wow.
And they are pictorial,
Wow.
travel books, coffee table books on
Hmm.
Nigeria. And my flagship of those books is Nigeria 2.0, which is the second edition of the first Nigeria that I published 12, no, 14 years ago. And it tells the story of Nigeria, the founding fathers, our monuments, our history, the landscape, the culture, and festivals in a nutshell. The book is about 10 kilogram in weight, so it's not something you can
Hmm.
carry all over the
Hmm.
place because
Wow.
Nigeria is a huge country, and if you want to do anything on Nigeria, you have to
That's
make it
right.
very big.
The book has
And
to be
That's
huge.
right.
not just that alone, not just that alone. It's not because of Nigeria alone. It's more of commercial purpose, and I will tell you why. In Nigeria, in Africa, majority of our artists live in penury. Why?
Hmm.
Because people copy, they pirated their work. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are going to pirate any of my books at all, it's going to cost you a fortune.
Hmm.
And you are not sure whether you are going to sell or not, unless someone comes to you to say, oh, give me 10,000 copies or give me 50,000 copies of this book. That is when you'll be able to say you will go into production because it's pictorial. The color and everything has to be right. So
Mm-hmm.
if the real thing is there, why go and buy a fake? So that was the main reason behind the 2.0. And up till now, I'm still very lucky that it's nothing like piracy on my work. That is 2.0. I also have Yoruba Proverbs, which is the first of its kind, since anybody can say is a Yoruba person. Nobody has ever done it. And I try as much as possible to do things nobody has ever done. Uh, because there is opportunities in being a first mover. Anybody that comes after you will just be copying what you've done. And my
Right.
dream is for those coming behind me to do it better, at least to show example that this thing can be done. And the Yoruba proverbs are illustrated with images, real life pictures that I've taken over the years. Is the second edition as well. And I have Lagos State, which is a state in the country. We have 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria, making 37 states. So even though I photographed all the states, what I'm doing now is to go back and do a detailed photography of each of the states in Nigeria. And under my watch now, I think I've done about 12 states comprehensively that I can come up with a book on them. I've done Ogun State, I've done Lagos State, and coming out in January will be River State, which is so beautiful. Unfortunately, people do not know much about this state. They just believe, oh, it's only oil and gas, but there is more in River State than oil and gas. Because it's River State, it has so many water bodies across the state. And I was lucky to fly helicopter. I was in the state for about 7 months documenting the state. I was on the boats, ferry, local boats, just to get my pictures because if you go on a flying boat, you will not be able to do what you have to do. I've been on the creeks, all the creeks in River State I've been. And then Abuja itself, which is one of the best cities in Africa, very well planned. And of course, because we are Nigerians, in terms of maintenance, things are really going down the drain. But having said that, I did a beautiful work on Abuja, and everybody will be very impressed when the book comes out in January. I have 4 books coming out in January, which is going to make a total of 19 books that I've published so far uh, by January. And then maybe by March or April, Nigeria the Beautiful will be out, which will be my bestseller because people will see Nigeria in a total different light. Why all this? We need to tell our story. We need to change our narratives. And I'm also lucky, extremely lucky in the sense that if you're a Nigerian anywhere in the world today, they carry my work because the Nigerian passport has my work watermarked on all the passports. So that is my greatest achievement so far. And one of the currency in Nigeria, the 100 naira note, is the first digital currency in the world that was produced in 2014, which has all my images on that note. So for me, it goes beyond money. There will always be a lucky break. But if you don't start, you will never know where the journey will take you. So in terms of the books, I've done Nigeria the Magical, which is another perspective of Nigeria. I've done Enchanting Nigeria, uh, because I have over 200,000 images of pictures of Nigeria from 1900 to 1983 when they stopped documenting Nigeria the way it should be. So those pictures, when I look at those images, I always get goosebumps because some people have done some amazing work before me. And I'm even dedicating my new book to the Nigerian photographers who came before me and the ones who came after me, listed their names. I mean, the ones that are doing some serious work in the country. Listed 67 of them, from the first photographer in Nigeria to the youngest who was born in 2001 or so. This is to encourage other people to say yes, because if I don't do it right, if I don't get it right, then those who are coming behind me might not be interested in the profession. So you will just have a flip of history where things will be done, and at the end of the day, nothing else is going to be done again. Which other book again? Ogun State comprehensively, a very big book on Ogun State. Ogun State is more like the gateway state into Nigeria because they were very receptive to the Europeans when they came. So it's full of historical artifacts. And then a comprehensive one on Lagos State. I've produced 2 books on Lagos State. I'm working on another one, which is going to be very, very comprehensive, and it will be huge as well. But generally, they are all pictorials because Black people don't read. If you want to hide anything, just put it in a book for a Black man, and unfortunately, they will not see it. A very good friend of mine, a comedian in Nigeria, very famous, Ali Baba, told me a story one day. The former Commonwealth Secretary General, Emeka Ayoku, gave him a check and a book, and he put the check inside the book. Of course, when they met again several weeks after that, he now asked him whether he enjoyed the book. And by the way, he hasn't cashed the check because the check was in the book. So one way or the other, he got to know that there was actually a check in the book. So I tweak that for people to read. So it's purely pictorial, but at the bottom is just 2, 3 paragraphs for you to read, aside from the history of our founders, which were detailed. But all the other text in the books are very little. But in the process, a lot of the younger generation are getting interested in what the country looks like. And if not for the insecurity challenges that we have now, this is the best time for Nigeria to be explored because you can't travel abroad because of COVID. And here we are in the country, we can't go to the next door because of some insecurity challenges. But all those things to be, I believe strongly in the next few years, Africa is the last continent that is going to blow. And when we blow, nothing is going to stop us again because civilization and what is it called started from Africa? Creation and civilization started from Africa. And I believe strongly we are going to win at the end of the day. Thank you.
Wow, wow, amazing. I'm quite very intentional about this session of the conference because I know that what we are doing all together is uh, a branding. We are doing a continental branding. You know, telling the people how they should see Africa, telling the people how Africa should be perceived, contrary to the way it has been before. They told us everything bad about Africa, but in real sense, we have so much value here, so much wonderful things here that we need to tell the world about Africa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate. I wish we could have, some of those things, like maybe some other time. Definitely.
How can I put it on? I don't if I don't I'm using my phone. How can I show you? I have them on my phone. I just don't know how to.
Oh, okay. You can add source. One of the icons there. You see add source.
Yes.
That plus icon. If you add
Plus,
source,
where's the plus? Oh, okay. I can see lock and the text message. Let's see.
so when you see add source, you'll be able to put up your local video.
Okay. For private chat. No. No, I can't see that. Sorry.
Okay, okay. Uh, uh,
I'm not IT savvy.
don't worry, sir. But definitely, I'm looking forward to a better
No, I can
platform
send
for.
them to you. I will send them to you. No, I'll
No
send them
problem,
to
sir.
you.
No problem, sir. Because I want us to be able to, start writing the story, start making the story popular about Africa, contrary to what the world has always known about us. Because until we have the correct imaging about ourselves before we can carry ourselves that way, and the world will now see us and say, "Oh, I think these people have got, you know, the understanding of who they are, and they can appreciate us as who we carry ourselves to be." Seriously, it's really a very deep thinking session, and I noticed that our audience don't even have questions as much. Everybody is just blown away, and we are trying to think about our life, think about our position, and what we have to do in all of it. For talent in Africa, integrity. When the thing is coming over and over again, it means that it's very important. It's not just about competence, it's about the integrity and the love. The love to what you are doing. How do you love what you are doing, and all of it like that. So it's a lot, it's a lot. Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. I don't know if you are still coming up stage, but I would just like to have a short break, just have a short video while we have our next speaker is already in the studio. Okay, okay. You're welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome back, sir. So I would like you to just give us your, you know, parting words, advice to the young and upcoming talent, and everybody to be able to see it from that perspective, because it looks simple, but it's a lot of work that you have done to be able to use photography in nation building, in general, imaging of the nation, of the continent, creating for us that picture of possibility. And then it's a lot of work, that framework, that mindset, moving from just, okay, snapping people that like to be snapped, moving from just, making memories for people at their ceremonies, to, you know what, let me do something for my country, even though I have photography as a tool.
Thank you once again, Tuji. For the younger generation, I cannot overemphasize integrity, love, and passion. Um, and these three things, whatever you do, also have education in it as well.
Yes, sir.
Don't say because you have passion, without education on whatever you want to do, it's not going to take you anywhere, because it will get to a point whereby you will not know more than what you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have an in-depth knowledge on what you are doing, that is what saved me as a photographer. If I haven't studied photography, I help as a social photographer. And at the end of the day, should I get ill or accident, I'll be stuck. Like during the pandemic, during the lockdown, nobody was working. Only God knows the nights are hell, you know. And I was making money. As I'm talking to you now, I'm making money because someone somewhere is either buying my images or buying my books, you know. So for me, it's more of integrity, love, passion, and education. We need to get education in whatever we do. And without education, you'll be wallowing in poverty and ignorance. With education, you'll be able to analyze things and see things better. Then moving forward, the younger generation should try as much as possible to partake in politics from their local area to national level, because we can't leave politics to those that do not know better than us. Otherwise, they will be formulating policies for us that will be very difficult for us to see the greater things beyond our nose. So believe in yourself. Whatever you do, try as much as possible to have integrity in whatever you do, because without that, it will be very difficult for you. If you join the army, competency will take you to being a colonel. That is why most of them retired as a colonel. To get to a general, integrity and loyalty is key. Your customers should mean a lot to you. The love of your environment, the love of your community, the love of your country should always be at the back of your mind, because without this, we are nothing. Life is very easy. We only try to make things complicated when we think we know how to do it. No matter how brilliant you are, listen to the elders, those who have passed through that way, because at the end of the day, no matter the clothes you have in your wardrobe, experience is not something you can pick up. I mean, I've been in this business for 33 years. You can't start yesterday, even if you have 20 years experience. I can tell you that 13 years is no joke. What could have gone wrong must have gone wrong. I've been to a wedding before in my life, in the days of analog technology, without film, and I was shooting at a registry. Blank. I didn't know until after they finished that. I was just looking at this thing should have finished now. And I opened my camera. Bingo. There was no film in the camera. Why? Because I got there late. So that taught me a very great lesson. And from that day henceforth, I never ever got to anywhere late. I leave home early so I can prepare myself, test my equipment, and make sure that everything is working fine. That was a very great lesson. And that is part of the experience that you will need in whatever business you will do. It might be with customer service, it might be with your creditors, it might be with your suppliers. You know, experience counts a lot. Get closer to whoever is older than you in the business, those whom you think knows better than you, to tap from their fountain of knowledge. You know, if you ask for the road, you will never get lost. But
Yes,
if
sir.
you think you know, certainly you'll find yourself in another place entirely. So for me, competency, brilliancy doesn't matter. It's integrity, love, passion, and loyalty. That keyword loyalty, because when you are loyal to your customers, you are loyal to your suppliers, they will do things for you for free, all based on your integrity. And that is what will take you to the next level. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Punctuality. Yeah, you painted it in a very succinct way. You know, if you are not punctual, you snap the whole wedding without film. Hmm. That's it. Thank you so much, sir. I do appreciate your time here today. And seriously, our audience, some of them are taking back seats. I'm not seeing comment from them. I know it's a sober time, and then it's a very deep one. Everybody is enjoying themselves with the reflection, and it's a good time for Africa. I just want to, amplify this to the world. Okay, what we are having here from this icon in Nigeria, I would like to see it for South Africa, for Kenya, for Ghana, for Mozambique, for Gabon, just every country across the world. If you can have something like that, and I don't know, I know you've got the capacity, sir, to instigate something like that. We can have people across board, across Africa, that can learn from you, that you can directly inspire that project and say, okay, you know what, do something like this for your country. Let us all have this for individual African states, and when we bring it together, everybody can now say, wow, really, Africa is as beautiful as this. It's going to be a massive turnaround for the way the world sees Africa. And I know it's going to be very interesting and inspiring to the coming generation, because when we have a bird view, a God view of everything, we see how beautiful it is. And that's what image does to us. When we are inside it, we are overwhelmed by the noise, by the everything. But when we come from above, we see a lot. And that is very interesting. Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure to have you today. I would like to allow you go and catch up with the rest of the day, and then, enjoy yourself absolutely. Thank you so
Thank
much, sir.
thank you. I'm really grateful for having me. And anytime, just call upon me. I'm
Thank you, sir.
just a call away. I will share some of the videos and pictures with you later.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so
God
much, sir.
bless you.
Amen,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, absolute. We have another of our speaker right, in the studio, waiting to come on stage. My co-moderator needed to attend to some things very quickly, and uh, before we bring our next speaker to come on stage, I just want us to relax with this, and we would kick off from there.
Out of all the reasons in the world, and I've read your book, you have the 10, all these keys to success, etc. What would you say is the number one reason why people fail? Not necessarily why they make it, the complete opposite.
Right, lack of brains, lack of effort.
Lack of brains, lack of effort.
Yeah, they don't do the work. They don't learn. When you walk in the room, when you start a business and you start to talk about somebody, you're never in a vacuum with no competition. Unless you're just extremely lucky. And if there's going to be competition, that means somebody else knows your business as well as you do when you get started. And if you walk into a competitive environment and they still know more about the business than you do and more about your customers, you're going to lose. But most people don't consider that. They don't do the work. They don't learn more about their industry. They don't know even about their business. And so you've got to put in the effort to know more about your industry than anybody else. and that's the brains part, and that's the effort part as well. Because look, if you're competing with me, you better know what you're doing, otherwise I'm gonna kick your ass, and you're not gonna outwork me. And so, the combination is usually what kills businesses early on more than anything. Alluding to it earlier about entrepreneurs being born or built, and I think I knew I was wired to be excited about business. How or why, I don't know, but and there's certain guys that have the genetics to jump out of the gym, right? There's certain guys, that when they golf, they have the muscle memory and the discipline. Dirk Nowitzki may not be the most talented guy in the NBA, but his discipline and his focus to do what's necessary to be successful, he's willing to do, and combine it with being 7 feet tall and being skilled, it makes him an amazing basketball player. So it's understanding what your skill set is, finding the right place to use those skills, and then going for it. Will that make you 250 grand? It depends if you pick the right industry. But whatever industry you pick, if you outwork everybody, if you try to be a little smarter than everybody, if you try to be a better salesperson than everybody, if you try to be better prepared than everybody, you've got your best chance. Because if you don't do it and somebody else does, I have the saying, work like someone's trying to take it all away from you. I actually work like someone's spending 24 hours, working 24 hours to take it all away from you. And that's kind of the way I look at it. I started my first business when I was 12. I was buying and selling baseball cards, buying and selling stamps. Anything I could do to make money, I was hustling and trying to do. So I was into business, but I not so much where it was all my friends were into it with me, so they wouldn't know.
Baseball cards.
Yeah, baseball cards, you name it. I grew up in Pittsburgh, and so I would, probably even less than 12 years old, I would go out and buy a bunch of baseball cards that I collected, and I would say, okay, you're guaranteed to have a Pittsburgh Pirate in this package, and I would charge 3 times as much, and I'd set up on this park bench down in the park down in Scott Township where I grew up, and I'd have these little sales, and it was great. I made money, and it was, and I learned as much about business when I was 9, 10, and 12 as I learned any other time.
Let's transition to a different subject with college. You went to IU,
Yep.
right? Now you got a lot of people that say, forget about school,
They're
drop out of
idiots.
school.
They're idiots.
So you think they're idiots.
idiots.
Tell me why.
If you're going to have and run a business, if you don't understand accounting, you're already behind the 8 ball.
Can't you hire a guy that knows how to
But
run
then
accounting?
they still have to communicate to you. Your accountant might tell you you're profitable, but your cash is going down. Not understanding a breakdown. And when you don't,
You think you need college to learn that?
yeah, I think you do, right? Because it may not, for some people, look, if you're so self-motivated that you can take an online course in accounting and teach yourself everything, you're way ahead of the game anyways. But most people aren't. I don't care if you go to a community college and take accounting and spend $99 for the class. Just, spending the money forces you to be more obligated to do it. But accounting, finance, lesser extent marketing, sales if the school offers that. These are that's the language of business. And so while it's possible to teach yourself these things, and while it's possible to hire them, when you're starting your own company, you don't want to have to spend money hiring an accountant. Well, let me take that. If you've gone through all these classes, you probably don't have to hire a lawyer to incorporate, right? You can probably figure out yourself. And so your cost of opening up a business drops. But even more important than all that, that's the blocking and tackling. That's the language of business. The thing I learned at Indiana that was more important than anything else, I learned how to learn. And learning became far more important to me, because the one certainty in business is that it's always going to be changing. If you're not always learning, to this minute, if I'm not continuously learning, if I'm not just absorbing as much as I can absorb, someone else is going to kick my ass, right? So you talk about paranoia. The greatest source of your paranoia should be knowledge. If someone else knows more than you do, and if you're not learning, if you don't know how to learn, if you don't have a thirst for learning and acquiring information, you're SOL.
So do you think, like, let's just say if we put 10 guys here, you interview them, okay? You could, within a 5-10 minute interview, say, this dude's not going to make it as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I can typically tell, right? I can tell by their passion. I can tell by their focus. I can tell by their preparation. There's a whole realm of things in any business. Here's the business you're in, and here's 1,000 things that influence whether or not you're going to be successful. through my experience in businesses, I can put myself in his position and say, okay, here are 900 of the 1,000 things he has to be aware of, and then go through and ask. And by how many of those or her issues they've been able to address already, that kind of gives me a sense of how hard they're willing to work. And I can tell by the questions they ask me. So all I have to do is say, okay, what do you want to know? And when they start saying, what should I do?
They ask you.
Yeah, and that's fine, right? And I want them to ask questions, but people like to say, the only stupid questions are the ones you don't ask, and that's not right? Because the questions you ask tell whoever more about you than anything else you do. Because in particular, it tells me about your preparation. If you ask me questions about just basic things that you should have known and you should have down to a science, that's going to disqualify you almost more than
Okay. Yeah, I needed to just stop that. Why I played that video was to just put together what our previous speaker talked to us about. He talked about passion, he talked about integrity, he talked about love, and he talked about education. If you're quite attentive to that short video, you notice that passion is very important. Whatever you want to do in moving your talents, to a business that would make sense, you have to be passionate. Know what you want to do, very passionate about it. You got to engage your energy, with whatever you want to do. And integrity, I think that's the big gap now, for the young people in our generation. So much that we are so passionate about it, and we don't care how to do it. We just want to do it anyhow. And that for us, it's a lot of disadvantage. When there is no integrity, you're unable to get things done easily, because at every point in time you have to be checked over and over and over and over again, and that is going to be killing time. It's going to be killing your reputation, because the last time we checked, you were not who you said you are, and that is not good enough. And love, yeah, I think that's another resounding note that we need to take note of. Love, very important. That's where you are customer focused. You are obsessed. You're obsessed with your customers. It's a lot. It means so much. You're obsessed with your customers. I already said I'm going to be doing a book on that. It's a lot. When you think so well about other people, in the way you are offering services to them, you are able to come out with the impossible as innovations, as solutions for them to be able to enjoy whatever offering you have for them. And the last one is uh, education. Pile. I just put it together. In that acronym, pile. PILE. Passion, integrity, love, and education. Those things are very important in translating or transforming your talent to business. It doesn't matter the space you are. It doesn't matter what you are doing. It doesn't matter where you are. You can transform your talent to business when you have this pile of passion, the adequate passion that is needed, the integrity that is sufficient. I don't think there's even any amount of integrity that is too much. The love, love for what you are doing, and love for the people you want to serve, love for the audience, the market you want to serve. In real sense, you should not just want to milk your audience. You should love your audience, to want to feed your audience, so that they can willingly even give you as much as possible meat, if that is what you need. And education, you cannot be wiser than your ignorance. You need to be educated enough to be able to bring solution to the table as much as possible. Okay, thank you so much. We have our next speaker now. She's going to be coming on board. She's also one of those talents out there, and she's doing amazingly well with the works that she has been able to see herself. I think for me, why I actually preferred her among so many is her perspective. She has that kind of perspective that we just got the picture of it from the just outgone speaker. She has this perspective. Okay, you know what? Let's see what we can do for our nation, not just what our nation can do for us. And she's using her talent to bring that to bear. It's really amazing and interesting to see that. You're welcome, my co-mod. It's a pleasure to have you. I'm bringing you on screen now. I can see, the behind the scene. She's enjoying herself. It's a pleasure to have you. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yep. Absolute time here. Thank you. Yeah, we are going to be bringing up our speaker now. She's going to be telling us a lot about what she's doing, and she just published a book, and that's one thing I want her to come and talk about to us here, as a strength to her from a kind of talent. It's not just, you don't just do anything from Mr. Dio. We have been able to see the picture that, hey, you know what, whatever you are doing, you can do it, to make sense for your nation. You can do it to make sense for the people. I didn't know, maybe you got it. I came up with a pile, pile, passion, integrity, love, and education. From what he said, whatever you want to do, make sure you're able to bring these things together for you to be able to move your talent to that place it needs to be. I think we need to make a lot of people know about that pie. It's simple and direct. If you don't have enough passion, you don't have enough integrity, you don't have enough, love and education, you may not be able to do well with your talent in this age. You're welcome, Winifred. You're welcome. Yes, it's good to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here.
Hi, Winnie.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you
Good to have you, Winnie.
doing? Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here as well.
Mhm.
Okay,
I think we're having some feedback.
Okay.
Is it just here?
I'm also hearing that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a troubleshoot quickly. Let's mute our mics and unmute again.
Okay.
Okay. Are we now unmuted?
Absolutely.
Okay. I think it's better now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, still, let's go. It's the network. Let's go.
I think it's the network. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Winifred, you're welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. And how are you too?
I'm awesome. Doing great too.
Okay. I'm so glad to be here.
So,
It's an honor for me. Thank you so much.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you. I will allow the person that has taken, a cup of tea to engage you, because we are not taking a cup of tea.
Oh my God. Okay, Winifred. Once again, it's an honor to have you.
Yes, the pleasure is mine.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
Tunji, you like putting me on the spot. Okay, but it's fine. It's okay. It's not a cup of tea actually. It's a fresh juice. You know, after making mom's food, I decided to have a cup before I have my lunch. when we are done.
Before I have my lunch, we are done.
So, straight to the business. Winifred, it's really wonderful once again to
This is
have
the
you.
business.
Our audience
It's really wonderful once again to
have been
have you.
looking
Our
forward to
audience
meeting you
have been looking forward to meeting you.
Wow. That's so
and
pleasing to
hearing
hear.
you
And
impact
here
us. You know, we
you
can't wait
impact us in.
to
We
hear
can't
all
wait
you have to say,
to hear all
to
you
have
have to
you
say,
educate
to have you make
Africa and Africans.
Africa and Africa.
So, welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. To start with, I'd like to everyone, including that have joined us to listen to this wonder, and I'm so glad and honored to be here. I identify who teaches, so I'm a writer as well as a teacher, and everything I do, I make sure that at the end of the day, I'm given, which most especially it's through either writing or teaching. So I can say I'm a teacher by day and a writer by night. And as a teacher, I joined the Teach for Nigeria movement. Teach for Nigeria is an organization that, our vision is to ensure that one day every Nigerian child would have an opportunity to attain an excellent education. Because we know that education in Nigeria, not all families are able to afford it. And also we understand that in those that are able to, many of them do not necessarily have the privilege of having an excellent education. Because, for instance, in Ogun State, as a pilot point, we have schools that are run by it. These days, we have what we call free education, in quote, free education, because nothing must be collected from this kid. And now, when the kids come to learn, they have little to no equipment that would suit their things that would foster learning for them. And so it's just basically just the teacher teaches you whatever he or she has to teach, and then go back home to whatever things you've been doing already. Most of the kids are helping their parents to sell. They're selling, they can't even afford to school. The education is free, in quotes. There are things that must be put in place for these children to really have an excellent education. And this is where Teach for Nigeria is coming into the picture. Now, I represent Teach for Nigeria as a teaching fellow, but I have limited time to spend with my kids, with my learners. I have 2 years, out of them I've already spent a year, and now I have just more to spend. And so the idea is to make sure that before I leave the school, I make a meaningful impact that I would be remembered by. Not only being remembered by such thing is much more important that the children I'm leaving behind after the fellowship really have a reason to continue going to school, whether or not there's a Miss Winifred coming to school to teach us today. So that's the idea behind the things I do as a teacher. And now talking about the book I just published, it's called Notes to a Young Teacher. Well, after joining the teaching profession intentionally, because when I was doing my National Youth Service, I was a teacher, but I did seriously. So just basically go to your PPA, teach, get back to that. So I was just doing it. But now I'm doing it because I want to. And it's been an exciting journey because there's so many things that you never knew existed that you would see in 3D while teaching. And I've had cases of children whose families were broken and it's affecting them, it is affecting their learning. And as a teacher, there's this you can do. You cannot go to the family and start saying you want to solve their problems or you want to bring the father back to the mother. You people have to be together for this child to thrive. There's little you can do in that aspect. What you can do to actually model the child. It is the child that would would benefit from your impact directly. And so, talking about the book I said I just published, well, it's I notes to a young teacher because I realized that so many teachers today did not necessarily join the profession because they have a passion for teaching. So, because they needed a source or a means of income. And now, when the why for joining a course so strong, it would have an effect on the people you are impact, and in this case, the learners. As a teacher, you're not just going to school for the sake of going to school. You're going there to meet learners, to impact them, to teach them. Whether whatever you teach them is within the educational curriculum or not, you are teaching them. That's what you're doing. And now, if your reason joining the profession is because you just want to earn money, then there need to effort on your part to really people. You just be doing the job because you need to get a paycheck at the end of the day. And so you would not be motivated to do beyond what the government expects you to do. And so the book is just like a means to encourage teachers or people who are looking forward to joining the teaching profession to actually know why profession. If your why is strong enough, then you thrive as a teacher, and you definitely, most definitely, leave an indelible mark on the lives of the people you are teaching. And so the idea of teaching is to actually leave a mark. More like they say in Yoruba that kò dá kí wọ́n dàbí ejò tó kọjá lórí àpáta tí kò dẹ̀ nípa. The nearest interpretation I'll give in this is that a snake shouldn't slide through a rock without leaving a mark on that rock. You see? So as a teacher, you're supposed to really change the lives of the people you're teaching, you're supposed to model their future. You know, there's something we call a possible future, and then we have alternative future. We can have a predictable future that we can predict the future of this children we are teaching. We know that their parents are struggling to. We know that some of them come from broken homes. We know that some of their mothers have gone to dump their grandmothers. Some of them are not living with their parents; they are living with their grandmothers, and these grandmothers are barely, just living, so to speak. And so the little efforts they can make on really modeling the lives of these children. And so we understand that this support from their families. You can't expect a child that's living with his grandmother who at the house have to go back to the grandmother to hawk oranges, to hawk, so that they can have money for them to eat at night. You can't expect a child to dream big or bigger than the environment and the things he or she is going through at present. So our duty as teachers is to make sure that this predictable future of this child, which is to probably learn a trade after leaving school. Of course, this is not so bad. It's not. We are supposed to make sure that this predictable future, we are supposed to take them from that predictable future to an alternative future, which is much more brighter and much more important to them as children. So we know that these children, if they have the opportunity, they can do better. They can have better. They can be better. And so that is what we're supposed to be doing as teachers. So in the book I wrote, I just basically I'm a young. I've not been in profession for so long. There's been bigger people in the picture. There's been people that have donkey years of experience as teachers, but I have just written a little note based on my experiences thus far and based on the reality I've seen happening in the lives of the kids I am teaching. And so the book is please teachers to do better, because when we do better, it will reflect on the lives of the children we are teaching. My reason for writing the book, of course, is to make sure that the minds and the mindsets of teachers is restored, because many teachers believe to teach, go back home, and we can do much more we really put in the effort to do so. And that's what I say for now. If there will be questions for me, I'd be willing to answer them. Thank you so much. I really appreciate having the platform. Thank you.
Okay. I hope I'm audible. Like, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I'm getting a feedback. Okay. Thank you
He
so
said,
much. It's quite very interesting to have you. Oh, if the feedback is coming from me, wait. It's quite very interesting to have you. Oh, if it's coming from me, wait. Oh, God. Vivian, can you go for it, please? I think the feedback, I don't know. I shouldn't be hearing myself.
okay, Tunji. I think I'm also hearing myself. The whole back is quite disturbing. But maybe is the country that we are in, the network provider. Maybe it works more better in the morning, and then afternoon you begin to hear and experience all manner. I'm hearing myself. It's really very disturbing. It's fine. Winnie, well done. Well done. Can you hear me?
It's fine. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Well done.
So it's really amazing to see
Yes, I
as
can hear you.
young as you are.
Thank you.
It's amazing to see as young as you are, you took up the initiative to write such a book.
So it's really amazing to
I
see
must say it's laudable.
young
Well done. Again and again.
people to see as young as you are. You took up the
So how has it been for you as a teacher?
Thank you.
How has it been for you as a teacher? And how long did you teach while you were serving? 1 year?
So happy with you.
And then after that, how long has it been that you've been teaching? How long have you been teaching?
Well,
what is the experience like?
How long did you teach?
Well, I've been teaching
While you were serving?
While I was 7. Yes, I taught for a year.
Okay. And how long have you been teaching? How long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for.
What is the experience like?
I've been teaching for 10 months now, excluding the number of years I taught while serving. And it's been exciting, but it's been very challenging because you try to make sure that what you're doing is meaningful to the people you are doing it for. Because as a teacher, you are molding the lives of younger people, and if these people do not count what's so important to them in the first place, then it's just as saying you're doing nothing. And so it's been challenging trying to make my learners understand that education key, even though it has become a cliche that they say education is the best legacy, go to school, this and that. Many of these kids are from families and communities where education is not so valued. And they are growing up in a family where they have elder siblings who, ventured into things like smaller business instead of furthering their education. Some of their elder siblings did not even go to secondary school. After their primary education, they were taken to maybe a mechanic as an apprentice to learn how to repair, vehicles and whatnot. If you ask these children, what's the future? They tell you, Auntie, no, I want to be a mechanic. You have like, they'll give you histories that are settled at repairing cars. Now, that is not a problem. Being a mechanic is not a problem. It is not. But that these kids can be better when they have, when they have knowledge and go back in their education, in their formal education. So these kids don't even understand why education. Then we are not making any effort. So the challenge is in me getting them to understand that, see, you need to really get educated. I myself wouldn't have been able to teach you if I had not had a university education, and if I had not even gone further to make sure that during the teaching I have everything it takes to be called a teacher. And so it is a way of encouraging them, and that's where the challenge lies, because you are trying to change them, but when they get back home, their reality is telling them this is all rubbish. I mean, I don't need to go to school. My other body fine, I say, so and so. And so that's where the challenge lies. But it is exciting because you get to, I think having people that look up to you is something exciting. For me, it's exciting because my kids look up to me and be like, Auntie, I like what you're doing, Miss Winifred, I want to be like you. And so it's exciting to know that, okay, I'm really making impact. I'm not just going to school every day to teach math, English, and basic science. I'm really making impact. So that's what I have to say. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hey,
So what are the courses you teach in
so
school?
what has you teach in school?
Okay, basic subjects, mathematics, English studies, and basic science. Those three.
Mathematics,
Mathematics,
basic studies.
Yeah.
An English language, you said, or English studies?
an English
Which
language
one?
first or English study? Which one?
We call it English studies, but it's just the English language. English.
Pardon me. It's been a while. I left.
Pardon me, it's been a while.
Okay. Yeah. The reason why I asked, of
Yeah,
course,
there is
you are a writer as well,
you
and being an educator, a teacher, I'm sure
and education.
a couple of parents
I'm
would
sure
probably want to, relate with
would probably
you,
want to,
get to you, probably to do an online
get
or
to you,
whatever.
probably
I
to
don't know if you do
do
all of
online
that.
or
So
whatever.
it's an
I don't
opportunity
do
for our
all of
audience to
that.
get to know the
But it's
extent
to get
you
the
teach
extent
and the subject you handle.
you take
Who knows?
and the subject you handle. Oh no.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very interesting. The
Yeah,
perspective
yeah,
for
very
me,
interesting. The
um,
perspective for me,
is a leap from our previous
is a
speaker.
link from our
Uh, you
previous
know,
speaker.
education.
Uh,
Education is
education.
very important for us to be able
Education
to
is very
realize
important for us to
the greatness of
realize
any people,
the greatness
any
of any
nation,
people, any
any
nation,
country,
any
any tribe.
country, any
Education is
tribe.
very important.
Education is very
And
important. And
you know, uh,
you know,
the best people that can
the
educate
best people that can educate
us
us
are,
are,
people who are passionate
people who are
about it.
passionate about
People who have seen it that,
who are
okay,
saying
this is
that
what we
okay,
need to
this is
do
what we
to
need to do
move our
to
country,
move
our continent
our
from where it
continent
is
from
not
where
supposed to be to where it
it's
should be.
not supposed to be
And
to where
then, yeah,
yeah,
that point got me
that
when you talked about
God when you talk about them
predictable,
predictable
you know,
or
predictable future.
predictable future.
Can you still hear me?
Can you see it?
Sure.
Yes,
I'm
yes, I can
audible,
hear you.
right? Okay. Predictable future and alternative future. You know, we have all believing almost on getting alternative future because you see many people, what do you want to be? Come in the future, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be an engineer, I want to be this. But come back in the next 10 years. Oh, what are you doing now? I'm just a digital marketer. You know, you realize that what has happened because there was no proper molding, you know, at some point. You know, eventually life will turn out to be that okay, you can be whatever you want to be, but at some point, those little dreams, no matter how little or small they were then, they were worth it. You know, and the borders for us will be that why are those dreams not becoming a reality? Education is lacking. And sometimes the education is not just that, okay, there are no four walls, but there are no human resource or capacity. You know, there are no intentional capacity for transferring this knowledge to these people. You see, so many people did not eventually become what they wanted to become, not because they didn't attend the best of schools, but their teachers were never in any way good or supportive to what they want to be. Their teachers downgraded them. Their teachers actually talked them out of becoming what they wanted to be. Albert Einstein, you know, a very popular example, dropped out of school, was withdrawn from school because the teacher told him that his brain can never think or do something extraordinary, or not even ordinary, let alone extraordinary. Thomas Edison too was withdrawn from school because of what the teacher said to him. You know, countless example here in Africa. You see, when you see the way teachers talk to students, you know that these guys are just doing it because of what they want to get and not what position they assume themselves, you know, to be in the life of these people, especially from that formative place and all of it like that. And many times, you know, when I look at Nigeria, for instance, I see how the lecturers in the tertiary institutions are one of the biggest problems we have because you know I remember how they related with me as a person, how they related with my colleagues as you know when we were in school. Some of those memories are not too interesting, and these guys they are at that point of making things to happen, of changing the narrative. What they just need to do is okay, relate to us very well. Tell us, you know what, this is what you can do, this is how you can do it to get this thing done. And okay, if you can do this, if you can do this, you know, there are ways we tend to be very receptive to somebody who sits in the position of a teacher, and that is why they are shapers of destiny, shapers of the future. When somebody comes to you as a teacher, you sometimes want to even agree to them than you agree to your parents. It's the rule of life. You listen more to the person who is giving you more education than the person that is not giving you enough education. It's only the stupid people and the foolish people who listen to people who are not as educating as the other people that are more educating. That's why they are foolish, because they listen to those that are not as as smart than those that are smart. So people tend to listen, and pay attention to the place of higher education than the place of lower education. And that's why I'm very impressed, at this that you are doing. I intentionally, want to use the platform to create an amplifying effect for this, so that more people can say, hey, I don't need to be having gray hair on my head before I can now start thinking about my country, even though it's teaching that I want to do, or there's a way, because for us to change all of these narratives, we need to be able to educate. And educating, it's a lot of work. It involves everybody. What we are doing now with this conference is we are educating the African community. about what they need to know about themselves, about the future, and how to go about it. It's not just sufficient that, okay, you know what to do, but how are you transferring that knowledge to other people? Because the more, the better. The more people that know what to do, the better for all of us. You will not have to wait on one person for us to do something, because you know what to do, I know what to do, we know how to go about it, and we are able to do a lot. Thank you so much for this session. We are definitely going to be bringing the session to, okay, yeah, I'll give you the floor definitely to round off. I just want to talk to our audience that we are bringing the session to a close very soon, but we have another speaker here in the house. She's supposed to be here earlier than now, but definitely it's not too late for us to have her eventually. So I am a moderator now, just a moderator, and then Vivian is the convener now. So anything you want to do, go ahead.
Who am I to wear your shoes, Olatunji? Come on. Anyway, thank you for the honor. All right, I appreciate it. Winifred, something struck me. While you were speaking earlier, you had mentioned something about a boy, one of those your students, whom you had asked what he wants to become, and then he goes telling you that he wants to become a mechanic. That was really unbelievable. You see, that is where I get a bit sober, and I want to really appreciate the work that you do. Because if such, a student does not have the opportunity to meet someone like you, I'm wondering, he or she would end up becoming a mechanic for the rest of his life. I mean,
When he can be an engineer.
no, I'm even more surprised that okay, recently I had a chat with a little girl, and being a curious person that I am, once in a while when I have people around me, I intend to, especially the younger ones, I intend to always put them on the spot to ask them, so what class are you? How are you? What do you hope to study, in the future and all of that? And here is this little girl, not up to 15 years. Do you know she told me she wants to be a neurosurgeon?
Yeah.
Incredible. I shouted, I'm like, do you know what it takes to become a neurosurgeon and all of that? I'm like, she said, um, I don't, but I want to become that.
But I want to become that.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, may
I'm like,
God help
okay,
you.
may God help you.
So Winifred, well done.
So
What you're
Winifred, well
doing is
done. What
really
Thank
you're
you so
doing is
much.
really
laudable,
laudable,
and may God
Thank
and may
you.
God
grant you more wisdom,
grant you more wisdom,
understanding, more
understanding,
favor
Amen.
more
in all
favor
that you
Amen.
in
do.
all that you do.
Amen. Thank you so
And
much.
then moving on,
And then
I
moving
don't
on,
know if
I,
any of
I
our
don't know if
audience,
any
those
of our
listening to
audience,
us as well, have
those
a
listening to
question
us
for
as well,
you.
have a question for you.
Sanju, do we have any
Sanjay,
question?
do we have any question?
No question. No question.
No question. No
No
question.
question.
No question.
Okay. Okay. In that case, then, thank you
Okay.
very much, Winnie.
Then thank you very
It
much,
was nice
Winnie.
meeting
All
you.
right.
It
Thank you
was
so
nice
much.
meeting you.
Thank you for
I'm so honored to be
educating
here. Thank you
me.
so much.
Thank you for
Thank you for
educating
educating
me.
me.
A wonderful time with you guys.
For
Thank you.
educating me.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We have Planet 3R in the house. Our amiable Ibadan girl. She's supposed to be here yesterday, but she could not make it to be here. She has one of the grandest perspective about what business promo is all about, and I really wish that we are not having her now, but because there is the opportunity, that this body of knowledge can be revisited over and over. It's not just life. People can come back and say, hey, that portion, we want to get it. And that's why I want her to just do it now, because she's got so much knowledge and perspective about what it means to undo the waste that we have in Africa. Like I said, the problem we have in Africa is not too much. It's not that we have too much of waste. We are doing a lot of things that are not necessary, and that's waste. So, but somebody who has that perspective and say, you know what, bring the wastes. Let me teach you how you should handle them. And she's been doing that, and not just doing it for fun. She's changing life with it. Uh, every day, I already told her that one of these days I'll come and meet her for the anointing of how to be able to have the presidency, to be your spokesperson. Is the presidency that does marketing for her. She'll just stay there, and the presidency will be saying, you see what she's doing. You see this, it's a lot, it's a lot. The PR is presidential. It's a pleasure to have you. I will bring her upstage now. She's in the studio already. She's sipping some nice tea, I guess. So she's in the middle of a conference too, traveling all about. But we are so privileged to be able to pull her out of her schedule and bring her here on stage. Um, I know when you're ready, so I'll bring you on stage. I think you're ready now. Okay, yeah, you're welcome.
Hi.
Okay, unmute your mic. Your audio is not coming. You're not hearing you. Still not audible. I know you can hear me. You are still not audible. Maybe you can do away with the
Earpiece.
hands free. Yeah.
Yeah, for now.
I can't still hear you. I can read your lips that you have removed the earpiece, but can I still hear you? Okay. Okay. Let her try to join again.
Yeah, it could be a
Yeah.
network issue,
Yes.
Could be network problem. Yeah.
Yes. She's in a very remote place. She's traveling about, trying to upskill people, train them in the skill of waste to wealth.
Okay.
Please, can you
Wow.
hear me now? No, we can't hear you, but I can read your lips, and not everybody can do that.
You should check her connection.
Yeah, our connection is nice.
Okay.
Our connection is giving me green all through.
Okay.
It's just the audio now from my hand.
I should send the mic button to
Okay,
unmute it.
you have a mic button. I hope it is not muted. You have done that. We are still not hearing you.
Wow.
Oh my God. How is the network doing all of us differently like this? We can't hear you. It's been an overwhelming session today. I would like us,
When are we
quickly.
when are we having Kenneth, please?
It's coming later in the evening.
When I won't be around. Everyone listening to the sound of my voice, you got to watch out for Kenneth Igiri. You don't you don't want to miss that session with him. That guy is one of those I call a gold mine. I mean, meeting him and hearing him, your business will never be the same again. Even your own life. as a CEO. I don't know what you have given him, what he's going to talk about. But truly, our audience, look out, watch out for Kenneth Igiri and the rest of the speakers. So can we hear her now?
We cannot hear you now. Don't, just calm down. The microphone. Okay. Can you try to just do without the earpiece? Remove the earpiece. Let's see. Oh, okay. Will you check your media volume? Maybe it's at the lowest. It could be that the network is even not interesting again from my hand now.
Okay. So what do we do?
Yeah.
How did you round up with Uncle Dio, Mr.
Yeah,
Dio,
it
Adedayo?
was
How did you round up?
yeah, it was a nice time. We didn't have question for him, so
Oh, at
I just
all?
asked him. I just asked him question, and yeah, he couldn't. He wanted to share with us some of his works, but he could not. So
Okay. He was having issues with his laptop or something?
yes, he promises to share with me later. Then I will bring it to you know as part of those gifts we have for our audience.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Oh
Oh,
my God!
awesome.
Finally, oh,
I had to restart my phone. I don't know what was going on before. And once there are major problems like that with phone or something is just, what thing I do is just restart my phone when I've tried all the option and it works. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can hear me
that's
very
great.
well now. Yeah.
That's pressing
Absolutely.
the reset button.
We're
Yes.
glad to have
Reset.
you.
Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm happy
Wow,
to be here too.
it's good to have you eventually. Wow, wow. And I
I've
know
been
how it
I've been
feels.
on the move, like traveling programs. Yes. That's why. Emma Binu.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank
Uh,
you. Thank
we,
you.
we are planning on rounding off. I think by now we should be getting towards that end. But it will be very, interesting and honorable to have you still give your take. Like I said earlier, because I know that okay, we have this recorded, people can come back to it and still be able to enjoy this part of it. Because at the moment, our audience are, some people are still online, but some people who started with us are, getting tired. This is over 3 hours now, that we have been here, and I know what it is for people concentration and capacity. But yet, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We don't like to take you for too long. Just come in and let's enjoy what you have for us today.
Yes.
Excuse me. Excuse me, sis. Okay, there's a voice I'm hearing. Is that coming from your end
Yes,
or
it's from
from
her hand. She's in
Olatunji?
a program. She just excused herself to be here.
Oh, I see. I
Yes.
see.
Sorry. I'm in Benue at the moment. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm in Benue at the moment. But can you hear me,
Okay.
please?
Yeah, we can
Yes, we
hear
can.
you, but perhaps
Okay.
you should still walk away a bit because the
I've
voice at the
tried.
background is extremely higher
Okay.
than yours.
I'm coming. Let me
Okay.
let me leave this place. So
Thank you for that observation.
It's all right.
I wasn't having any issue with that, but that was a good one.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, some of our audience, I mean,
Yes.
it will be, yeah, it won't be so good, so palatable with them.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope you have your self ready for. I think we should just have like 10 minutes. The time is not
For
there
me,
again. As soon as she's done,
okay.
yeah,
Let her,
you-
yeah, 10 minutes so that I can share a few tips on public relations
yes,
that I
yes,
promised.
yes.
Okay,
So as soon
that's
as
fine.
she's done, we just round off with
Hmm.
that, and we're good. So that we can go and rest and get ready for the dose we are having on the final lap. Okay,
How many
she's
speakers are
here
we
now.
having in the evening? Okay,
Two,
two.
two more speakers later in the evening.
Kenneth
Okay,
Giri
yeah,
and who again?
and Ajula Anthony.
Oh, Ajulo Anthony, I see. Okay,
Is
that's
the
fine.
is the
Welcome
is the
back.
voice okay now? Thank you. Is it
Absolutely.
better
Yeah,
now?
thank you so much. Yes, yes.
Okay, yes. I had to go to a place. Okay,
So let's meet
what do
you.
I yes, yes, yes. My name is Adejokela Sisi.
Okay.
Can you hear me, please?
Very well, very
Yes.
well, very well.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, my name is Adejokela Sisi. I'm just an ordinary girl. That's the way I see myself, because I believe that what I can do, other people too can do it. And like one of the program that I came for on this business Momo, I told him that I told the audience that waste is just a thing of mind. Waste doesn't really exist, because, for instance, now, if you have a clothes and you no longer like, it doesn't mean that cloth is bad. It doesn't mean that it's torn, but you don't just like to wear it again. Some things are just there that you don't use them again because you have an alternative, because you have other things to use. And just because of that doesn't mean that it is bad. So what you need to do is just find a way for other people to probably use it, reuse them, or find a way to reduce the things that you bring in, the things that you don't really need, so that you will not keep accumulating these things that you see as wastes. So, and that is why that's why they come up with the 3 R's, which is the reduce. If you cannot reduce it, then you can reuse the things that you no longer need. And if you cannot reuse them, then you recycle them. So once you're able to understand these 3 R's, it's going to help you in all aspects of your life. Like, it's not just about business now or about you, like in your home. You can actually use these things. So, like I always say, so when we started Planet 3R, we use that name from the 3R to say, okay, we want to use the 3R to save the planet. And that was where the name came out from, Planet 3R. So I'm wearing Ashoke as a ham. I was born into Ashoke weaving. I weave Ashoke. So I was like, I'm not doing enough when it comes to environment. How can I do more to make sure that we create a greener environment? And aside from that, unlock opportunities from that thing that we do. Because I believe that it's not just about you creating impact or solution, but how others too can benefit from that solution, how they can gain from it. So when you are looking towards to creating solution, it's not just about you. It's not just about your immediate environment. Look at how you can create that local solution that will be solving that global problem. And that is one of the ways you can become more relevant. It's not just about that in your locality alone now, but that solution that you can create from your community. We actually create impacts globally. And with that, you can scale easily and you can get more opportunity. But when it's something that's a solution that you are creating is just so narrow to a tribe, to a particular community, it actually not, it doesn't make you to like scale up easily, and it affects you and it affects your community, it affects your organization, it affects people that are working with you, because if you are not growing, they are not growing too. So you need to make sure that you find a way. So when I started initially, there were challenges, because I keep telling people, if we lie to ourselves when we say that we don't have challenges, and challenges don't stop. In fact, the higher you go, the higher the challenge. So it's just that the way you've been trying to like face some smaller challenges, it will give you the power, like to say that okay, now I can face more. You that you are doing 5 bags before, you can say okay, I can now do 10 with more resources I get. Okay, I can do 20. These are the things that we need to keep thinking about. So when I started Planet 3R, it was not coming well, like, weaving these pure water sachets, the nylons that we see, converting them into products. The person that believes in me the most, my mom was like, Joke, this thing will not work. It's not working. And one of the things I tell people, when people tell you that something cannot work or will not work, do not waste your time or resources or energy trying to prove it to them that it will work. Show them results. Use those time, the energy and everything. Concentrate more on getting the results. And when the result comes out, it will speak for itself. They will start advocating for you. Like now, my mom will now tell people that don't throw that lilo away, oh, Joke will need it. Oh. And that's the way it works for majority of us out there. So do not say, okay, I want to make sure that I prove them right. Don't bother about proving them right. Bother about getting that vision, achieving that goals, the objectives. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about people trying to prove them right, but about getting the results. Because one major thing that I tell people is that the people that will follow now, the people that will love to become now, they did not set out to make money. They actually set out to make impacts. They set out to create a better future. Money is just what they got from doing it right. So we have to be impact driven. When you were talking, I was actually at the background, I was hearing about the education and everything. And why majority of the dreams that when we had them, when we were younger, is not really coming true now and everything. Fine, reality setting, and they are not coming true. But one major thing that I see now, when you go to schools now, and you ask these children, what do they want to become? Instead of them to say that they want to become a doctor, they want to become a teacher, their mindset has changed. They will say they want to become a millionaire. So they don't care whether he's true doctor or something. And that's why they get it wrong and they do all sorts of things and they go into fraud because
there.
that mindset is just money.
Yeah.
It's not just about impact for them anymore. And it's affecting us in all area of life, like everything that we do in the community. So I feel like the sensitization, the awareness needs to start from those children, and they need to understand that you need to work hard. You need to make impact before this money comes. What they want now is become a millionaire. But how did they want to become a millionaire? They don't know. Because it's just about money for them. So we really need to retrace our steps and make sure that we get it right. Like in as much as we are not achieving our dreams, we are still doing other things at the same time, because our dream, the major reason why we are pursuing that dream is to make impact. But I still see many people still making impact in another sector, not necessarily like that place. And they are not looking forward to, I want to become a millionaire. I want to become a millionaire. That is not the reason why they are doing it. So we really need, like a few weeks ago, Vice President was using me as an example for young graduates, that they need to understand that aside from being educated, they can have other skills, so they can do other things. So, the work now that we now say we do and the things that we are pursuing, if you actually do it right, all these things, the money will come. It's not as if I have the money yet, though. Like a few weeks ago now, we won a grant. Yes, now, it was that we have money. But a few weeks ago, like I've been privileged to win about 15 grants. I'm not just winning grants for myself now, but mentor some people too, and they've won grants. That one alone is even like, I'm happy because God has been able to use me for their business, to grow their business, to get that funding that is required to scale their business or to start their business. Like a grant now that we just won now, we are one of the 30 selected in Africa. It was a big deal. They were just going to select 30 in Africa. And the only thing that was required of you was just writing the application. And sometimes it's not as if that they will call you and ask you about some other questions. That means that you need to put in your best into that application from the beginning. And that's why I keep saying that whatever is worth doing was worth doing right. And don't let us have this mindset that they already know who they will give. That is their friends. It's not their friends and family. Oh. Do it well. You write it first. Do it well first, and see if you know if that reward for hard work will not pay off one day. It will definitely pay off. So write it. And to the glory of God, I got the email like we'll be shortlisted as one of the 30. So these are the kind of things that we need to make sure that our mindset that just let us get it right first. And they say, seek the kingdom of God and every other thing will be added unto you. So that is how, like in business too, in any project that you do, be impact driven. Do not look at the money first. And before you know it, like Oluwao, like I'm one of the 10 women now selected to go and represent Africa in the US, in Florida in January. Everything has been settled, all expense paid by Access Bank. Like so many things that you can get opportunities when you do the right thing. So that's just what I wanted to say because I don't have much time. Anyways, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would like you to just, weigh in on how business waste has kept Africa back. What you saw opportunity in was actually what some people kicked. They threw away until it got to you. That's the way Africa has been. Those things that we have been able to make impact with, they are the things that some people ahead of us, they saw and they just jettison. They just, hey, what's this? This rubbish. This rubbish. This rubbish. I mean,
Okay.
not just about the waste of material, but I just wanted to just talk from that ideology, that mindset, because the
Okay.
way you have talked now, you have talked about them, even though you didn't mention them, but it's obvious, how you have been able to bring all of these things together from your personal story.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Well, one thing that I believe that, Africa, we have this, we are blessed, but we waste ideas. Like a lot of things comes to our brain because, they say opportunity lies in problems. And when it comes to problems, we are still lacking behind in some things. But because majority of us, like, we don't really build ourselves enough to have that capacity so that when the idea drops into us, into our brain, when we recognize the idea, we don't even do anything about it. That's if we recognize it. Majority of us don't recognize ideas. Majority of us don't recognize opportunities when we see it. And most of the time, we keep wasting resources. We keep wasting opportunities because we cannot even identify them. When we now identify them, some of us we don't like to go extra miles to actually create solution for that things that we see. And the truth, one thing that I always say is that, see, solution lies beneath problem. You just need to dig deeper. Solution is like a big rock. A problem is like a big rock that is there. It doesn't look like something that can be shifted. So you now look at it as something that can never be broken. Like you can't really get to the bottom of it. And you understand, like if you can actually get underneath that problem, because one thing is that when you're able to identify a problem, solution is already coming. Because you even identify, okay, there's a problem somewhere. That means that you even know the kind of solution you will give to you because you identify there's a problem here. So when you see that rock, the work now is to now dig in. Like you get your digger, like keep digging it, break the barrier, break whatever that comes as impossible. So that rock, by the time you break it down into pieces, and you're not able to see what is underneath, probably is water, is something. That is the solution. And when the solution come, there are so many people that have been doing research over years to make sure that they get something, but they could not finish it. And the person that finishes it, that get the solution, has it occurred to you sometimes when you see some ideas, when you see some products, you'll be like, I've talked about this thing before. Like it has come to your mind, but you did not do it. It's the person that do it that people see. So no matter how so just because you've wrote before, you've thought about it before, if you now do it now, it will be as if you are copying that person.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do not implement that idea. It's not just about you. So we are wasting ideas. Like that's one thing that I see in Africa. A lot of us. And we wait for Western people to come and do it for us. Like there was a paper I presented at this university in Canada a few months ago. So I was asked to present a paper regarding what I do. So I look at the problem that majority are facing, especially in line of my own work. When it comes to textile, the skill, the indigenous skills that we have in Africa, we are blessed with a lot of skills. But the truth is, sometimes we don't know how to like inculcate technology with it. But I'm not saying that we should eradicate and just stop all those skills. Because by the time we stop them, that's the problem majority are facing. We don't want one Western to just come and say that okay, it's a thing that we should be doing. We feel as if that we are being deprived of our own culture, of our own heritage. And this thing is not really working. But what if we can bring the technology from their own side, add it to the skills that we already have, our indigenous skills, merge it together? It will get a long way. And people will feel safe at that time and be happy because they will feel like, wow, our heritage is not being taken away from us. We're even doing it in a better way. We are producing more. These are the ways that we need to keep thinking and seeing things. Which we have something. We shouldn't do as if that we do not have anything. We are not useless in Africa. We have a lot of things. We just need to learn few things that we can add to this. And we can do so much more from that. And a lot of family will have something to put on table because there's a source of income from their generation to generation. So their skill is not being taken away from them. That's one thing I talked about. Thank
Wow,
you.
wow, wow, wow. We are not useless. That got me. We are not useless. And it should not be a fight between, yes, we cannot lose our heritage because of the technology. It should be a sense and wisdom that with our heritage we can combine technology and get better results. That's that's
Yes.
that's very outstanding. That's very
Yes.
outstanding. Vivian, how you doing? How you
I'm
doing? I
good.
saw
I'm
you
very
nodding your
well.
head. I saw you nodding your head. I saw you sipping some tea. Okay, it's good to have you.
Okay, well done, well done, well done.
Thank you.
Let me shorten the name Joke. Well
That's
done.
the way majority call me. Thank you. Joke, joke, joke. Yes.
Don't I have a thing with shortening names. I'll just short it. I'll just
It's
make it so
it's
short. But
it's,
it's
it's
really an
Western.
honor hearing you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And for
Thank you.
me, one thing that stood out for me, problem is like a big rock. You
Mhm.
don't just see it, and then you are what's that word? You are like, what would I do? You should go closer, no matter how big a problem is. Go closer,
Get your
dig some
digger.
more. Yeah. I mean, find out what lies therein, because in the midst of problems, of course, lies amazing opportunities. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for opening our eyes on waste recycling and all of that, to reuse our waste instead of just throwing them away. Thank you so much. By the way, you look
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you
Ashoke
so much.
in a
Yes.
gown form. I'm
It's
looking forward
actually
to mine.
skirt, and it's actually a blouse and a skirt.
Oh, wow. It's looking like a
Yeah.
gown.
I actually just
Awesome.
on Tuesday I sent, no, last week Saturday, we did 100 bags because we make conference bags. We sent it to
Mm-hmm.
Rwanda. They use it for a conference. So
Wow.
we do like, and I've been able to like make sure that the business is not just about me. Anybody that comes, I make sure that I train them to the standard that I want, so that
Hmm.
I will be able to move ahead in another, to think about other things, see another idea, implement on them. Because when you are stuck
Absolutely.
in a place and you don't move other people ahead, you don't train them, you will not leave one place, you will not grow. So I
That's
keep
right.
doing other things again, think about, and that's just it. Yes.
You, you, are-
I'm
you are
looking
giving
forward.
us
I'm looking
free.
forward to having a should I say a ball gown made
Yes,
with
it's possible. Yes.
Ashoke.
Yes, I've done that before.
I'm
I've done
imagining
a
how it's
lot
gonna
of things.
look on me.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, we shall talk about that later.
Maybe,
Okay,
maybe,
okay.
maybe me. I will get football
See you.
shoes.
No, it's basketball. It's basketball that you get. Don't worry.
And then another thing you said, okay, don't bother proving anyone right.
Yes, I don't.
Bother more about solving problems.
Show
Yes,
Bother
results.
more about making impact,
yes,
giving value wherever you go.
yes.
Thank you for those nuggets.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's because I think because she had very limited time, she told us stories that uh, gave us typical reflection of
That's
how
right.
business ways has kept Africa back.
That's
Her,
right.
her final notes, before she would take the final notes now, I have decided to train people to a good standard so that I can do other things. That is, it's a book on its own,
Mm-hmm.
that we can start talking about. And that's why a
Mm-hmm.
lot of businesses don't outlive the founders, because there are
That's
not
right.
people who can do things up to needed standard.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that
Mm-hmm.
she's here in Benue now. She's supposed to be in Ibadan. She's my favorite Ibadan girl, but she's not in Ibadan. She's in Benue. But
I see.
I think it was 2 weeks, or no, maybe 1 month or thereabout. She was in, was it Republic of Benin? She was training like,
Togo, yes,
yeah,
Togo.
Togo, training
Wow.
people all around the continent.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it's a pleasure. It's a great pleasure to have you in this our generation,
Thank
because
you.
Mm-hmm.
what you are doing is not just that you are turning waste to wealth. You are also turning the waste mindset of people. Because for me, mindset is very important. You are turning
Yes,
That's
the
yes,
right.
it
waste
is.
mindset of people to a wealthy mindset.
That's right.
I'm going to make a story out of it. We are not useless. That that
Yes,
That's
that
so
right.
stood out for me.
That's right.
Seriously,
We're
it stood out
we're
for
we are
me. We
not
are not
useless,
useless. We are
and
not
yes,
useless
we're no longer ready to waste ideas, to
at
waste
all,
yes,
opportunities.
at all, at all,
We must
at all. We
embrace
should not waste them.
opportunities as they come. As ideas drop in our spirit, we must run with them. Funny enough, there is something about idea. When God drops an idea on you, do you know at the same time, probably 5 or 10 more persons are given the same idea?
It's a
thousands, thousands,
frequency.
thousands, thousands,
Thank
It's not,
you.
it's
Thank
not
you,
thousand. No.
thousands.
Joke.
It's not
You
thousand.
see?
It's global.
And thank you. And once you waste an idea, in the next 1 month, 2 weeks, you'll be surprised to see somebody else running with the same idea. You'll be like, oh my God. Oh, this was what God told me, or this was what I was thinking
I'm
about,
telling you, like,
And then somebody else is running with it while you're there wasting the ideas. And,
Waiting with
I
it.
mean,
Somebody's running with it. Somebody's waiting with it.
yes, and that's
honestly
one of the
speaking,
things, and that's one of the things I keep telling the people that I mentor. I tell them that do not think you've done your best.
that's
Every day
right.
you can always, even something that you say is best, you
Improve.
do it better. You keep
That's
improving
right.
on the things. I remember when
That's
I was
right.
growing up, we only had this phone, that they will put the wire, land phone. Later, we had handset. Later, they did Java.
That's it.
Now,
That's
Android.
it.
They keep
That's
improving
it.
You
That's
because
it.
skipped it.
what
There
if
was
they are to
Symbian.
stay? Abi, so they even say cellular, cellular. They will say cellular. See all these things. Everything keeps evolving. But if
Yeah.
they are stay there, okay, we are comfortable. We've done our best. Which best? Someone and someone that will overtake you. They've not even given back to that person. Once they
That's
give out to
right.
them like this, all these things that you are sitting, that you are thinking like you are the king, and you are not improving. Wait there,
Of
remain
course.
there. They will
Of
come and do it
course.
in a better way. And that's one
Hmm.
good thing I like about chess. Most of the time when I'm playing chess, I see some moves I want to take, like, okay, I'll see that, okay, I want to capture this rook and everything like that. And I'll just look because there's something that they always tell us. When you see a good move, look for a better one. Because the truth is, there's always a better move in life. When you
Hmm.
think that something is good, that is in your mind that you want to take that is good, when you look around, something will be better than that thing. And that's the way we have to be thinking every day, in everyday
That's right.
activities. That is why I don't usually do all these long term go and be setting 2020 vision board. I don't do that because sometimes it discourages me and I'll
Of
feel like
course.
I'm a failure
Of
because I do not
course.
achieve those things that I set. But
Of
the truth
course.
is, every day I'm improving, every day I'm
Of
getting
course.
better because I
Of
check
course.
myself every day.
That's
What did I
right.
do better today? What did I learn today? And that is the way
That's
I
right.
grow.
How can I
So I don't
improve
give
upon
myself,
what I'm
yes,
doing? That's right.
yes, I don't give myself unnecessary pressure and be saying that I did
That's
not get
right.
a car because I wrote it down. As in, I don't like me. I don't give myself all those wala. I
Funny
like my
enough,
peace a lot. I love
of
peace.
course, of course.
Ah,
Funny enough, do you know when I myself I get to pin down a couple of maybe some, I would call them, okay, that I don't follow them do all those their
I
resolutions,
don't do it.
New Year resolutions, all of that. I don't as well. I
Ah,
don't. But as per expectations, I think I set mine during my birthday. I mean,
okay.
during my birthdays, it's for me a new year. So you do your welcome to a new year and all of that. I, Vivian, I wait until 25th or close to 25th October. That's when I set my own expectations for the year.
That's
Okay.
nice. That's
So
nice.
I mean, you mustn't follow the bandwagon. I mean, be different. Do things different.
Honestly,
And it's you and your
like,
God. It's you and your
yes,
God. At the
yes.
end, you're not proving anything to anybody. You're
Thank
proving to the
you.
world
Thank you.
and being impactful. That's it. Be a
Yes,
blessing,
yes,
you know.
yes. Ah,
Well done, Joke.
Thank
thank
you,
you
thank
so
Well
you.
much.
done.
Okay, okay.
Thank
Before
you.
before 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 you guys finish me on that, I'm inviting you to self discovery and vision board conference that is
There you go.
coming in January. It's been very interesting. Anyway, when it comes to dealing with people, you cannot mass produce.
That's right.
Yes,
They are not products. So everybody have their own temperament and ways they can go about fulfilling their goals. That's
yes,
the
that
thing
is
for
it.
me that I've come to understand. It's very different for every person. But the thing is, there's this clarity that we all need, and that's if you don't know how to bring it for people, you make it become more cumbersome than it should have been easy. There's just clarity that, okay, you know what? So the clarity is just for you to know that you know when to run away from what you never wanted in your life. Not that
Mm-hmm.
you just know, okay, this is what I want. You
Mm-hmm.
may not get it now. So that when those things you don't want, when they come to now look like what you want, you know that, hey, you don't look like what I want. So, you're able to get
It's
away
not
from
like that. It's not like that. They put so much pressure on people,
That's right.
as if that they've not
That's
achieved
right.
anything in their life. These people will not be coming into depression, like, and they'll be
I'm
doing
telling
things that they're
you.
not supposed to be doing. They'll be going into fraud because they saw that you are using motor. Must I use motor the same year you use it?
I
And one thing
wonder.
I keep
Oh,
saying is that this thing, see, Omar carry, it is not for everybody. It is enough.
that's right. That's
It is
right.
enough. See, just because my friend got it this year, I can get it next year
That's
Mhm.
too.
right. And get into
See,
the better one.
I'm telling you. See,
Yeah.
one of the ways that I get information, I was telling someone, I was teaching them. They said, "Why do you get this grant information?" And I keep winning different grants. I said, when I see a friend of mine that posts about a grant, like, congratulations, oh, that they're happy that they want so something. I greet them, congratulations. I do not look with I do not look with jealous mind. Some of us look at the things that we are supposed to benefit from with jealous mind, and it's not
Mhm.
making us get to the something that we're supposed to get from it. Me, I will
Yeah,
not look at
that's
it with
right.
jealous mind. I will congratulate them. Now look at the name of the person that has like organization, something,
Mm-hmm.
social
Mm-hmm.
innovator,
Mm-hmm.
something
Mm-hmm.
2021. I will
Mm-hmm.
now go to their website, go and
Bang.
subscribe to their newsletters.
Bang.
I will look at the Facebook. I will click on it, follow them. Instagram,
Bang.
follow them. So that even if I miss email, newsletter, I will not miss the social media one because I
I
usually
love your
visit social
spirit,
media.
Joke.
I
I
see,
love it.
so
I love
I
your
do that,
spirit.
eh? Thank you. I do that. See, I will subscribe to them so that next year I will look at the eligibility. I will know that I'll prepare myself so that next year too they will congratulate me. This
That's
thing, it will
right.
go around. It will go around.
It will
I
go
don't understand some
around.
people. I'm telling you.
That's
Ah,
right.
Seriously, you're
Eh,
giving us the story part of what has kept Africa back. Seriously, these are
yeah.
these are
the
Yeah.
jealous mind.
priceless
Yes, the
wisdom.
jealous mind.
Seriously,
Yes,
seriously.
they don't want other people to grow. Most of the things, like, I don't want to share my idea, they will steal it. Well, what are they? See, I keep telling people that if you are doing something and nobody is willing to copy it, there's problem.
Of course.
Mhm.
You must,
That's right.
if you are doing something and nobody wants to copy you, something, go and look at yourself. That thing is
That's
wrong.
right. That's
You are
right.
not doing
That's
anything.
right. That's
Mm.
Ah,
right.
Seriously, I get your perspective. When somebody that decide to pick up what everybody has thrown away, he's talking to you about life, it's a different perspective. When everybody have said, okay, this sachet, I don't need it again, and then say,
Yeah,
okay,
water nylon, yes.
so their perspective is different. So they are not the kind of people that are saying, okay, they are holding on to, one idea, because somebody just threw away an idea, the sachet of water, and you say, okay, oh, you don't need it again, and somebody picked it up and say, okay, I can make it better. And that's it about life.
That's the
That's
way
it
it work.
about
Yeah.
Yes.
moving forward, seriously.
Yes.
But again,
Yes.
yes, I'm inviting you people for uh my vision board conference come next year. Don't worry, you get to know me about
January.
January, yes.
Okay, no problem. When? What dates?
It's going to be the second weekend. I think we start the year starting with a weekend, so it's like going to be the
Okay.
second one.
We'll come
Yeah.
and learn. We'll come and learn, no problem. We'll come and learn.
Course,
And
of
I
course.
have a program next month. I'll be doing as a way of giving back, because I feel like God has blessed me this year. I've won a couple of grants, awards, recognition this year, both in Nigeria and outside. So I thought, okay, let me do a 2-day free training to people that are interested in learning how to write a winning grant, how to pitch their business successfully. So I'm going to do a
Okay.
2-day. You saw me that I posted it, right? So
Yeah, I
I'm
saw,
going
I
to do
saw.
it in December. Yes, so I'm going to do
In
that.
December,
That's
what
nice.
date?
I've not fixed a date yet, but
Okay.
I just said December because I have some program boot camp and everything that a lot of
Okay.
engagement in December, but I
Yeah.
will put that 2 days. Yes, so I'll fix it soon.
All
That's
right.
nice.
Thank
We're going to
you.
be having
Thank.
a pitch deck session today. That's the session Mr. Kenneth is going to be
Wow,
handling.
I love that
Yeah.
session. Yes, I love it because I like, one thing that I always say is that I put myself in the shoes of people that will go through it. So I make sure that I do it well because I don't they say think like a buyer, not like a seller. So
Mm.
what I would like, that's what I want to give to you. So I want you to give it to me. So that's why I do my pitch deck. I invest in it. I make sure that no, when you are reading it, you understand and you fall in love with it, and you be like, wow, like I invest in, and that's one of the things. Like you spend money to get money. I invest
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
in my personal development. I invest in my organization. Because they call it competition. When something is a competition, that means that you need to put in your best. What makes you
That's right.
different? So
That's right.
it's everything. It's not just about you having a great idea, but how you
That's
present
right.
it. The
That's
graphics,
right.
everything. I
Yeah.
invest in videos. Like when I do video pitch, like I write scripts. I will write my script first. I do this thing. I do research. I do like an assignment. It's a whole lot of work, but I'm always happy because the results actually pay off. Like it pays off at the end of the day. Yes.
Yeah, interesting. You are just giving us, pam, 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 all of those tips, that we need to pay attention to so that we don't stay back. Because, like I said, for me, business Momo is something bigger than myself, and uh, these wastes are not just the factory wastes. There are also wastes that are immaterial,
Yes.
idea. There are also wastes
Yes.
that are, attitude, habit, all of those things. So they are not just that, okay, this biro, I don't need it again, throw it away. No, there are also
Yeah.
things that, things in actions and actions. These are the
That's
ways that
right.
have kept us back, in Africa, and we need to
Yes.
get rid of them gradually.
Yes.
Kaizen, you are talking about something. Kaizen, don't mind me. I think I will have to go and learn Japanese language. I have a lot of things from Japanese language. Kaizen is, a gradual and continuous progress. You
Yes.
understand?
Okay.
So
Kaikaku is a sudden and drastic progress. It doesn't go
Interesting.
continuously. That's
Hmm.
Kaikaku. So,
Hmm.
when we want to enter into it, so many times we enter through Kaikaku. But for you to sustain it, you have to do the Kaizen, continuous and constant
yes.
progress.
Yes. I
Yeah,
like
thank
that.
you.
I like
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you.
Don't let us take you
Thank you
for
for
too long,
having me.
so that you're not going to miss another session of training you have for them in
Yeah,
Benue
I'm
State.
actually
Right?
training them here. I'm training people on how to write business proposals, grant
Okay.
as a business plan, grant write how to pitch the idea. That's why I was invited here. So they've sent my flight ticket since. Assuming they've not sent it there, it's actually clashing with some programs. Like,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
at least I'm happy because they're happy to, the
Yeah.
joy that I
Yeah.
see in faces of people that I train is actually what keeps me going sometimes because, most of the time I want to give up. But I think about the destinies that God has put that's
That
aligned
are
to mine.
tied to yours.
Yes, attached
That's
to
right.
mine. That this kind of
Yeah.
things, if I want to give up, I'll just look at it again. No, Joke, no room for that.
Don't give
Joke,
up.
just go, just
Jo-
keep going, just keep
Jo-
going.
Yeah.
Joke,
Keep
this is
going.
not a joke. You are in for big
Ah,
business. Thank you so much. It's good to have
thank
you.
you. Thank you
So
for
let's
having me.
let's
Thank you
permit
so much.
you to go and have some
But
Okay.
rest
but
and then
but
continue with
before
the.
before 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 that, please let's find out from our audience if they do have one question or two. Maybe you should
Okay.
answer it quickly if there's any question.
Any question? Please, let's answer our question.
If they don't ask questions, that means that they understand me perfectly. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it means. That's right. They enjoyed your session. That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we do not have questions. So
Wow,
Awesome.
that's great. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for having me.
Hmm.
We'll see you again in your all this January. This,
thank
nice
you
to meet
so
you,
Hey.
ma.
much.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, ma.
The
Thank you,
pleasure
ma.
is
Nice
all
to meet you.
mine. I'm
Yes,
I'm
ma.
more happier meeting you.
Thank you. Nice to meet
Yeah.
you too.
Do have a wonderful
Bye bye.
time.
Yes,
Bye
ma. Bye.
then.
Bye.
Hmm.
Okay. Such a lively
Hmm.
spirit.
Yeah, very, very. I'm wondering why her name is not Joke Vivian. Because we are known for that. We are life. We bring life. We bring life to anywhere we are. Hey, she's awesome.
That was great. She
Yeah,
she she I think she was on the journey there yesterday and she couldn't be there early enough to join us on the
I see.
program. She was supposed to
I
be
see.
part of the earlier speaker yesterday. But
Oh,
it's good all
wow.
the same. She came in and she still brought in so much value.
That's right.
Um yeah. So
Mhm.
thank you so much. So let me be your moderator now and you be the speaker.
Okay. Yeah, I had promised our audience I'm going to speak briefly. Few tips you need to know about public relations. So I will just run through them, and yeah, public relation is more like having a communication that is aimed at building mutual benefit between an organization and the public. It's about an institution sending messages at the right time to the appropriate persons or clients. PR, my people, is never advertising. Just
Hmm.
like Stanley would always emphasize, okay? PR is never advertising. It's not the same thing as advertising. Neither is it the same as marketing. Advertising is also known as paid media, while public relation is referred to as earned media. Don't let me go into all of that. But PR most of the time depends on the type of product or services a company is offering from time to time. Your PR, I mean, if you have a service that is geared towards, okay, producing of shoes and also teaching people how to produce, it's as simple as that. Your PR would be centered on the kind of services or products you do. So PR helps to increase your brand identity and credibility. And I said here, for any organization to be seen or perceived as credible, your brand must be trusted. Otherwise, you will lose potential sales or clients. Tunji, are you there? You're gone.
I'm with you. I'm trying to not allow a technical issue reflect to our audience. I'm with
Okay.
you.
So am I good to go? Should I go ahead?
Very, very well.
Okay, and I said one of the ways to increase company's brand or credibility is by writing articles, thereby featuring your products and or services, your skills and expertise, publishing them on magazines newspapers, social media, etc. As a PR personnel, you should always ensure that the company you represent sends the right message that resonates with your audience and impact them positively. So if your message is not going to impact on the audience, needless bothering yourself in dishing out such messages. Your messages should be uplifting. It should be something people are looking forward to, you know, to changing their lives or changing their environment. Of course, I said again, when an organization does their PR properly, it will increase your brand image and drive growth to tremendous levels. And one of the ways to do your PR right is being able to offer frequent press releases on time. So if anything happens about your organization, about your staff, you should be right there on time to tell the general public, those who believe in you, those who are loyal to your brand, what has happened. That will create a strong reputation for your organization, even for yourself, amongst other companies within the market. Another way to maintain a positive brand image or reputation is having a dedicated page where customers can contact your firm or yourself whenever the need arises. Being able to welcome criticism. A lot of people don't do well in this. So once you criticize an organization or a CEO, you're in trouble. So if you want to maintain a positive brand image or reputation about yourself or about your organization, get ready to welcome criticism, positive and or negative feedback. You must be ready for them. And then I said, last but not the least, PR personnel are the engine behind an organization's robust relationship with their clients and the general public as well. To some extent, they see to it, PR, see to it that organization's culture is able to attract the right customers from time to time. As you can see, PR holds, I mean, a very strong position. Should I use that word, position, in any organization? Public relations offers unique value to companies. They are always ready to make sure that an organization's image, reputation is well perceived, where everything is well balanced about an organization, no ambiguity about anything, clarity. They are the ones to bring clarity to bear concerning anything at all that has to do with an organization. Last but not the least, I say PR strategies or experts always have companies' interests at heart. They enhance customers' relation while establishing new ones. As an individual, the reverse of the aforementioned will be the case. So everything I have said about an organization, about PR, take for instance, you as a person, you know, should equally do the same thing for yourself. I love PR, Tunji. I love PR a whole lot. You see, anything that will make me to suture someone's image, to say the other things about somebody, about an organization. Most cases where I have worked, usually they are not asking me anything about my organization. I know once I get an opportunity, I want to paint the beautiful picture about an organization. I may be suffering, I may be suffering. In fact, they may be owing me 2 months' salary. But as a PR person, you should understand it's not always about the money. It's not about, always about okay, we travel here, with our CEO, the flamboyance and all of that. No, it's about painting the right picture. It's about delivering the right message about your organization, about yourself to the public. So that's all I have to say about public relations. I hope I was audible enough.
Very audible, very
Hmm.
audible, very audible. It's quite interesting. For public relation, there's need for a lot of diplomacy.
I
So
tell
that
you. I tell
you
you.
don't
Uh-huh.
step
And then
on.
you have brought me to the other point. Some people feel public relations are the ones that they promote propaganda, they promote lies. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. The message is clear. We
But
are for the credibility. We are for your brand image. We ensure that the public perceive you as they ought to. The public sees you as you are, irrespective of whatever that's going on at the background.
that's interesting. We all need them, that social intelligence to be able to relate to the public so that we are not misinterpreted. One of those
That's
reasons why
right.
we are here today is because we are trying to do the public relation on behalf of Africa. We want Africa to be, properly related to the rest of the world, as
That's
not being
right.
a place, not to want to go to, as not being a place that is useless. We are not
Mm-hmm,
useless, you know.
mm-hmm.
That's the message. Thank you so
That,
so so
that's
much.
also why I love Mr. Dyer. When he says 15 years ago, there was not a single photograph or image of Nigeria. He took it upon himself. I mean, Nigeria should actually pay him for being such a PR person.
Yeah, his image is on the passports. His
Yeah, of
image is
course.
on the
I'm
on the
also
naira
excited to
notes.
hear that. Yeah. Those images, you would never really know who, the brain behind them and all of that.
Yeah,
So I'm glad
yeah.
to have met him and to know that, yeah, 100 naira notes, his image is there. On our international passport, his image is there. Awesome. Awesome.
He's doing a
You know,
great deal. I saw him when the ambassador of Nigeria to Greece, made mention of him, and I was fascinated. So I started to know more about him, and that was how I
hmm,
got connected with him.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
It's a
Hmm,
great pleasure.
yeah.
Our audience, we have been having, the audience concentration go down as we continued. The
Yeah, because
concentration.
it's really you won't blame them. It's
Yeah,
usually
yes.
not so easy. 2, 3 hours at a stretch, and then four
Mm-hmm,
hours. So
mm-hmm,
pardon them. I'm sure some of them would probably come back to rewatch. You know.
mm-hmm. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's quite understandable.
that's right.
It's like that, and we do appreciate every bit of the audience were given. We have had a lot of wonderful people come around today. Time did not permit for them to do so much justice to their worth and their value, but we can see from every angle that these people they are really worth it, and it's a great delight for us to have such kind of gifts in Africa. Thank you so much to our speakers and also to our audience who have made us their speakers. It's a pleasure to have you all the same. And I want the whole world to join me to appreciate my co-moderator. It's a pleasure to have you here today. I do not take for granted this opportunity that you availed us to have you here and share with us moderate and do all that is needed to be done together here today. Thank you so much. You were very active yesterday too, and today you are here. You are super amazing. Thank you so much. I think we have just about
Welcome.
3 minutes now, and I would like you to take the closing remarks for this session while we go and rest for the later sessions. The speakers for the evening, they're already telling me, hey, we are ready, we are ready. I say, okay, I'm still on stage now, so let me get off stage and relax, and then we can take that on.
Okay. Okay, Tunji. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be a part and parcel of this conference. Okay. My life actually would never be the same again. My business life, my general life will never be the same again. I've been impacted. Okay. I've been impacted. Thank you for making this move a reality. Thank you for not being discouraged, no matter what it is that you encountered. Thank you for bringing business MuMu. I usually love to call it business MuMu. Thank you for bringing business MuMu conference, to bear. God bless you and
Amen.
reward
Thank you
you
so much.
abundantly. And to
Amen.
our
Thank you
audience,
so much.
I'm happy that you allowed us to serve you. I hope we did justice to our assignment, to our task. I hope we were able to, do a beautiful job that we've been given. Tunji, anytime, any day, you're always welcome. Okay. And then let me leave with this word that Joke mentioned. It rings the bell. You should look out to create local solutions that will in turn solve global problems.
Mm.
You see what that word is telling me? It doesn't matter how local you start, you begin in life. Ensure you know where you're headed. Global solution giver. Don't ever see yourself in the immediate. Don't see yourself as if you started as a local person or, someone that does not have the expertise or the required skills. No, see yourself bagging all the certifications, being an expert in several fields, meeting, problems. I mean, meeting people at the point of their needs, creating value, being there for people. That is what I want to leave us with. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the high update. Thank you so much. A high update is saying thank you to you.
I
Uh, yes,
I update.
I
God
don't know
bless
who I
you.
update is. I update say I love you, Hack of God. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you. I do not take
We
that for
love you
granted.
too.
So much, so much, so much. That person is watching from YouTube, and thank
Okay.
you so much. It's a pleasure to have you. We are so happy to have you. Um, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
Tunji.
That's
So at
so
the 5 p.m. session, I will try to see if I can join at some point, but I'm really going to be busy. I have a meeting. I have a physical meeting.
okay.
Um, as from I think 5:30 or thereabout. Mm.
No
So, but I will
problems.
try
No
to see
problems.
if I can join. Okay.
No
Mm.
problems.
It's
Thank you so much.
heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I'm going to miss Kenneth's session, but of course I will rewatch it if I'm unable to join. Trust
Okay.
me.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Okay, there. Take care.
Do enjoy the rest of your day.
And you too. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to be meeting again by 5 p.m. So 5 p.m. West African time. So I'd just like you to just go and rest, and then let's come back for the final session. The final session, we're going to be talking about a lot of things, that are really very, very important for your business. Just the way all of our points, all of our sessions from the beginning to now they have been very, very necessary and intentional towards the big thing you want to do in business. We're going to be rounding off on a very good note this evening. I would not like you to miss that session. Thank you so much. Tell your friends to join us. Tell everybody around you to join us. It will be one of the best gifts you can give them this year. for empowering that business gene in them, because we have come to that point that if we don't do it for ourselves, nobody will do it for us. And it's very important that we do it. Thank you so much. And till that time, I want you to remain awesome. I want you to remain amazing and know something, that you are the best. Thank you. Okay. Yep.